I said a general answer back. Like, oh, thanks, that's very interesting. Because I'm not going to argue with her. And that if we didn't give her the email and pay for the PayPal, that here it is. That was it.
Cool. Thanks, baby.
You're welcome.
You're a champion.
Thanks.
Does it feel like the beginning of the end? What's the title of this?
Ooh.
Is this the beginning of the end? This Armageddon on its way here in 2020? Man. It's not.
It's not?
Everybody's getting all like, well, I hear it from like clouds sometimes. Like, this is the beginning of the end kind of stuff.
Which dimension is he telling it from?
That's a very good question, Rachel. Which dimension is he telling it from?
Hey, emailed Anthrax. The end of the beginning, sure.
It feels a little bit more like the end of the beginning,
Yeah.
I think, than the beginning of the end.
I do too.
With all this stuff going on, all these protests, all this COVID stuff. You got Cloud talking about Elon Musk imprinting everybody with codes and AI exterminating people for not getting vaccinated and stuff. And
reproducing a lot too.
I guess. So, you know, it's a good enough concept as a title for a video here, which is, it seems as though some people might claim that they can reasonably conclude that we are at a point of transition in history. And I do think we are at some sort of point of transition in history. But I don't think it's a transition to Armageddon, end of days, or anything like that. I think it's a transition into a post-isolation world. You've got people who fundamentally can't be kept isolated from each other indefinitely because of the interwebs. And the post-isolation world makes it increasingly difficult over time. Hello, Winston's mom. Hello, Emailed Anthrax. Hello, Zaylen Black. Hello, world. It is we. We are it. They are we, and we are they.
We are it, and they are we.
Rachel and Eric. Anyway, so I mean, I do think that I think it's a transition into cultural alignment, but I think that it's the growing pains of that process. It certainly hasn't happened yet. I agree.
Damn those lungs. Wow.
Thank you, darling. One of the sentences I used today in grammar, teaching my student in grammar, was, to dance with all the colors of the wind, comma, Pocahontas had to act as though she had a crush on each of the colors.
ISFP?
No, I wrote the sentence.
I know. I know, but that sounds like ISFP.
That's an ISFP sentiment. It just makes me wonder, what did Pocahontas have to do to dance with all the colors of the wind? You know, not all of them were down to dance.
Well, she knew she didn't want Kocoum. She didn't want someone from her own tribe. Do I marry Kocoum or be a free Indian?
Problem with watching everyone else reach enlightenment is watching them go through hell for something that I've had this entire time. It's painful to watch. Well, this is phase one of the government making us feel like the beginning of the end. Okay, for what purpose? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? There's always this belief there's a unified voice of government or some collusion between those who would govern that that its alien policy is part of some grander plan that we don't know about. I dispute that in general.
I don't think that's true either. I mean, I think it definitely shows that there's problems within the government, for sure.
I mean, my basic premise is don't try to explain with malice what can be better explained with stupidity. People do a lot of stupid things for a lot of stupid reasons. There are very few personality types that are qualified to make good public policy decisions, frankly.
True. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Winston's mom. I'll take it.
Hey, if you're not a fan of her cute, go ahead and use adorable. Oh my God, you are adorable. Women use that normally. It's
yeah,
fine.
that's
Women
true.
can get away with
Adorable,
using
that's
that.
adorable. I do say cute, actually. You can put me in cuffs for being used cute. Oh, that's such a cute bag. Oh, those shoes are so cute.
What's wrong with that?
I am one of those girls.
But I tell you something, Rachel, that haircut has obviously been very successful for you. You've gotten a lot of comments on it since
and he helped me with it. Isn't that romantic?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
All right, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. We scissored.
Yeah.
Not with our legs. Actual scissors with her hair.
Yeah, we scissored both ways.
You're trying to sober up Sky Gear, you drink too much. Hey, Sky Gear.
So asking is good.
Hey, how you doing?
I like the fuck shits with the 2 S's.
Right. It makes it more German that way.
I'm very happy that you told us the truth about being drunk too. That's kind of fun.
Truth of the matter is, there's actually no singular voice of folks from the group. Everyone's actually winging it. Some better than others. Thank you, Email Anthrax.
Yeah, you know.
Pyow. You got it right on the pyow. Right on the
pyow
nose.
Appreciate that. I was in Austria when I was in Hungary. In Vienna.
You weren't in Austria when you were in Hungary.
No.
When you were in Austria, you were in Austria. When you were in Hungary,
yes, I was in Austria, Vienna.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. They're basically like, yeah, we don't have anyone running our government right now. Like it was basically their government leader just like, I don't want this job anymore, like Nixon kind of did, and was like, all right, I'm out. You guys can deal with it. So their parliament had to vote for, had to see who's going to be like the new leader or something. They basically were like, yeah, we have no government right now. So it could always be worse. I would rather have a government that just needs some tidying up than no government at all.
Bill Gates has a patent on the virus, therefore he made the virus. This is Agenda 21. Wake up, people. Bill Gates has a patent on the virus?
Yeah, he does. That is the truth. He's been like really behind it.
He patented this virus? Why would he patent the virus that's the problem? He patented Corona-19? Coronavirus 19 or COVID-19? What?
The guy who invented Microsoft?
Can you patent a virus?
Burn out the cancer and let it heal, you might see improvement. What cancer?
Oh. I'm throwing out arguments on YouTube that I've been arguing with people with. I have no idea what email anthrax means there. That's completely confusing me. I'm going to have to watch with like 10 seconds to slow it down.
No, change is definitely not a bad thing, you know.
Can I patent you, Sky Gear? I want to patent Sky Gear.
I want you to patent Sky Gear too.
Good. If I can't patent you, can I trademark you or copyright you?
When things go well for days on end, it's hilarious accident.
I mean, things are going well for us right now.
That's what I was just thinking.
For Mercury in retrograde, I see it happening. I see stuff, old stuff coming back
True.
into my life.
Right.
But
Me too.
unlike before, it's not like I have a lot of shit that I was supposed to deal with that I haven't dealt with yet. It's like I'm in the middle of other people's shit that they haven't dealt with yet.
That's so weird because I'm not gonna lie, I was curious looking up before. This makes so much sense of what it was like for you to be with a married woman. I was curious what a breakup would be like because.
Quick and easy.
Did you do it?
She did. I pushed her to do it, though.
You pushed her to do it.
Basically,
How did you push her to?
I basically brought the hammer. What you need to make a decision. Blah, 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 blah. These are your choices. You need to make a decision. I'm not going to let you get away from this without making a decision. I said, fine, I'll break up with you. Thank you. Bye. It was really that simple.
Yeah. I was just so. Yeah, that was kind of a retrograde thing for me because I'm like, I want to put myself in his shoes. Like that couldn't have been hard. I mean, it couldn't have been easy because like. The dude in it basically said the thing that is the most obvious thing, but still it needs to be said, is that the person who is the married person has the upper hand because they go back to support. And that whatever they're lacking in their relationship with their husband, they're looking for you, but they can still somehow spark it in their relationship. I know they're not together now, but
I don't know. I didn't really think about it much of the time. All those dynamics. I just thought about it from my perspective of where do I put pressure to make her make a decision?
Yeah.
Hi, Peter Ezowski. Thank you. Love you too. Hey, it's Saturday, and the only place you can drink at home? Are you in Florida? You must be in Florida, Peter Ezowski. I heard that Florida passed a law that nobody can drink alcohol in public right now because there's been a big spike in COVID cases. So they're trying to re-implement the lockdown, basically. Comment something about the elites and get tons of likes. Tons of likes. Hambone, it's funny. 2 videos got taken down because I had your name in them in the titles. I think the bone in the titles assumes that it's sexual content, and that's why those got taken down.
Yeah. Yeah, so the 2 videos, interviewing him?
The first 2, remember we had 2 aborted live streams?
Yeah. Yes!
Those were those 2.
Oh.
Skygate, don't remind me. Oh, Peter's from Canada. Even in Canada, they're being crazy? It's ridiculous.
I thought Canada wasn't even talking about it.
Why does he have a patent on a coronavirus? Does he plan to profit from it?
Yeah, what is that about?
It said it was unclear. The emails were unclear as to exactly why. It just said it violates our standards, but you don't get a strike. And so it's not clear what was going on there. I think the reason is because they make an on-the-fly decision with live streams.
Hey, undersell. Yeah.
And so they don't give you a strike in case they're wrong. Hi, Potato Man.
Potato Man.
You know what that reminds me, Potato Man, is that shooting a 40mm gun at a MiG above 5,000 feet, it's just like throwing potatoes at them.
That's so funny. So they weren't effective?
Right. That if you got above a mile, the shell wasn't going fast enough to pierce the plane that it hit. It would just bounce off it.
Oh, wow.
Hence,
And did it?
hence it's like throwing potatoes at. Do I like potatoes? Yes, I do like potatoes. Gen Z is going to be the next Gen X. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. You guys are very placid. Like, you don't talk about, like, you're angry about stuff going on, but you talk about it more on the internet than you do, like, actual actions of it.
Gen Z, most of you come from Lake Placid,
Mm-hmm.
but a few of you come from someplace else.
Because your parents are most likely Gen.
Some of you come from Lake Anger. Some of you come from Lake Jealousy, but most of you come from Lake Placid.
I come from the 80s.
No, I haven't heard from Horse Snowbird yet. Maybe I should give him a call.
No, Gen Z, I'm telling you, Gen Z, you're not helping at all. And millennials are... Gen Z's not helping, and millennials are idiots. They're both idiots. We're all idiots, actually. My parents are Gen Z. I never understood. You're cusp. 98 is cusp. I'm cusp too, of Gen X. So I definitely have the slacker mentality. I definitely got that from having Gen X, like, uncles and aunts. I saw that they were, like, very relaxed growing up because they didn't have a lot of parental guidance. So their personalities developed a little bit differently, and they were more, like, free loving as compared to, like, my parents. But my dad, he was an ENFP in the 60s, so he actually did do a lot. Like, he went to a lot of, like, concerts, and he was very into music and stuff. So, like, in terms of boomers, like, my dad was, like, a fucking cool-ass one. He went to Woodstock, but he'll tell you he was an idiot and paid for the ticket.
So I texted him, and I texted him saying, "Hey, what's up?" And also a warning: if you don't text me back, I am gonna call you.
Hole in my lip.
If you fought in the Korean War but didn't see any action because you were a little bit too young,
No.
then you just might be a member of the silent generation.
Yep.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that. I think there's pluses to every generation, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this, what is she drinking? It's called Guava Sprite.
Yes. Did you invent it, or did?
Yeah, I think we invented it yesterday.
Aw, he invented
Or
it yesterday.
maybe the day before, whatever that was.
Hi, Octavia Silva. Jen, I actually think that, yeah, Gen Z is going to be a lot like Gen X. They're going to, but that's okay. I don't know, there's a lot of you. There's a lot of Gen Zers.
We Gen Xers were a rare breed.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of Zoom, like, I don't know, they call them Zoomers. There's a lot of Gen Zers, but they're not as active. Like, I wouldn't say that, like, a lot of, I'm on Tumblr, okay? So I see how introverted Gen Z is. Like, they have everything to say, but they say it all online. They don't actually go out. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because tearing down statues is terrible. So,
I'd say like 78 is the cutoff for Gen X. Maybe, maybe 81. 81. I think 81 is the cutoff for
Yeah.
Gen X. I guess I'm a fairly early Gen X.
And
It's
I'm
like 65 to 81, 66 to 81, something like that. That's 15 years.
like, you
Or
know,
is it 20 years? If it's
they change it. It's 20.
80 is millennial. Okay, so it's through 1980. It started like mid 60s, maybe early-ish 60s, I guess. But the
No.
earlier
'cause-
60s, you start thinking about boomers.
Yeah. Even
My friend-
late 60s.
Well, my friend Dave Porter is 4 years older than me, and he's definitely Gen X.
And he's what year?
He's 67.
Okay.
I think that's sort of the beginning of Gen X, right around there. 65 to 80. Okay, there you go. Did you stay in your shirt, Rachel? It's actually not a shirt, it's a dress.
It's a dress. Yeah. I don't know if I stained it, but I definitely got juice on it. Because I am an INFJ.
Sky Garrett, did you get retroactive for that? Because my dad missed his chance when he was 80. He's over 80 now. Can he take advantage of that still, or is it too late? There's no retroactives. I'm the most 20-year-old boomer out there. I'm not boomer. I'm Gen
He
X.
is Gen X.
I'm super
You
Gen
basically
X.
you basically invented Gen X. I like to think that I did. That I was a huge influence on millennials because a lot of the things that I would say and do and trends, like I would say beforehand. But see, that's the frustration.
Curve super.
Yeah.
Well, obviously there are cuspers, like Rachel's a cusper, so she identifies a little bit as Gen X, you know.
No, you're wrong. He can act Gen Xer, but 65. If you were born a few 65, you're still a baby boomer. I'm sorry to tell you. Like, okay, Brad Pitt was born in 1963. He is a baby boomer. Okay, you got it? Eric, he was born in 71. Gen X. There's a difference.
Okay, there you hear it. It's ironclad law, goddammit.
Yeah. So not all boomers are who you think they are, and not all Gen Xers are who you think they are. So
Well said. Well said, Rachel.
my I don't know what my URL though, but it's REY_Rachel. That's my Tumblr name. If you find me, Octavio. Yes. 62 is still baby boomer. You should look it up.
Omar, just let it go.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, but your dad, he was probably very influenced by. No, 38 is silent generation. 1920 is the greatest generation. That's when my grandma was born. She would have been 100.
She didn't say she was great. They said, what generation is 1938?
Silent. So,
Silent.
Yeah.
They didn't say it was
silent
great.
generation. Starting 1920 is the greatest generation. Then, like 1930s, silent generation. 70s X. 80s millennial. 90s Z.
85 millennial, 741 SX INFJ.
Yep, that's me.
That's you. Puss psychology, Hambone. Puss psychology. I mean, I think Delilah and Rachel are two ends of the same generation, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like right in the middle.
Well, if 80 is a transition, then you're the same kind of early-ishness, basically, as I am in the generation.
Mm-hmm.
Delilah's at the very end.
Yeah.
And then you're in the middle between me and Delilah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like crossing like bridges. It's so funny talking to Delilah about like YouTube people because she knows like all like the trendy like happenings, and I'm always like, I don't know who that is, and she'll like look at me with a face like, how do you not know?
The answer to that is the silent generation is the generation most has the best chance to succeed by default because of when they were born. If you read about that generation, you'll realize everything was like laid out on a very straightforward path for them.
Yeah.
There was very little competition for stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, they came of age after the war had been fought, the big war had been fought, and they were enough coming of age after that war that they were able to take advantage of all the prosperity that blossomed in the post-war environment, and they were too old to fight in Vietnam.
Right.
So they got to skip Vietnam.
Yeah, which is nice.
They were the generation that just said, well, we just trust the government. That's why they call it the silent generation.
Yeah.
They were silent about McCarthy. They were silent about Vietnam. They were silent, although they participated in Korea. Like my dad's technically a veteran of Korea, but he never saw any action or anything because he was at the very, very end. He was on a boat when they were still doing wartime patrols. But he said, there weren't any shots fired around him or anything like that. So
yeah, I think my grandparents were in both. I know for sure Korea. Because my grandpa Apollos liked the show MASH, and MASH was about Korean vets.
Okay, Skyger, you need to get up and drink water right now. Do it right now. We'll wait for you to get back. Go.
That is the truth. That's how old people drink beer. They usually drink it with water because then they end up getting sick. Wow, that's cool muscle memory.
Yeah. So, also, the silent generation bought houses in the late 50s to mid 70s range. Not about that 20-year period.
Yeah.
When houses were dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Compared to their eventual value, compared to their total income.
They wanted people to.
So it's like when my parents bought this house, it cost them $30-some thousand.
What about early 60s born boomers are boomers? I just said one of the most
call yourself late boomers.
George Clooney, late boomer. Brad Pitt is a boomer. Gwyneth Paltrow is a boomer. It's like, do you see? It's like not that bad of a thing, and there's a lot of them because a lot of people had sex then. So it's like
a lot of people had sex that produced babies.
Yeah. I
think that that's the difference in the reason my generation was small is my generation was the first outpouring of sort of women's lib birth control time.
Yeah.
And so there was all of a sudden women had birth control and everyone was like, okay, well, let's not have any kids then.
Yeah.
My parents were planning to not have any kids until about 35, I guess. Maybe my mom's biological clock said, I want to have one anyway, or I'm not sure what happened. They ended up having one.
You came out and you're a miracle.
Thanks, I'm a miracle baby.
You are a miracle baby. Hello, welcome to the world.
We've made a determination that FI causes one to become mentally Jean-Luc Picarded.
Yeah.
Rachel and I had both come down with mental Jean-Luc Picardation.
It was nice.
And it's very juicy, but it causes you to lose the ability to speak normally, to behave in a rational fashion.
Gen X is small.
Did you hear my story about the U.S. Enterprise coming back from Pearl Harbor? I was in the planes to go and stop the Japanese, only to discover the danger. Countess, you're not a moderator. How did you do that?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Were you able to delete
Hold
that
on.
because you're both of them? What's going on? Was that by an accident?
Why don't I see email anthrax anymore?
Zero. Was that an accident?
Unhide user on this channel. Oliro is a moderator.
Was it by accident?
There. My Countess. Unhide user.
Wow. That's crazy muscle memory. I find the wars fascinating. I like history. Ooh, someone says to go back to Bongin.
Yeah, okay. So what happened was Lyra Fajikal was a moderator for some reason, and they basically butt hid.
Yeah, he did what I did. He pulled a me.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so
Welcome to my
I
world.
successfully unhid you. I must have made you a mod to share a link at one point, and then forgot to unmod you. That's usually what happens when somebody's, somebody's a mod for no reason. That freaked me out for a second. I was like, "Who's doing that?" But now we got to figure it out. What's that?
A baby bong rip.
Oh, bong rips, right? Yes, let's.
Boomer. I have no problem. Actually, I don't like the labels. I remember when I was first called the millennial, and I was like, "Get a life." Like, really. It's separatism.
I mean, the thing is, I think people are individuals. Individuals are individuals first. They're not foremost representatives of their generation or their type or their gender or anything else.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's true that we have these labels and they should be defined in concrete terms. So it is true that if the marking line is 65, then we should call people who are younger than that boomers. But it's also true that it's also true that we shouldn't try to force people to behave as we think boomers behave or something like that.
No, but at first, millennials was it wasn't an individualized insult. No one started using millennials until 2010. No one started saying millennial until 2010. I'm telling you, because I spent so much time on the internet during 2010 to 2019, because all I did was go on the internet on Tumblr and gossip sites, and I know the facts about stuff that has to do with people because I am a certified person in sociology. So I really do know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about people. And yes, millennial was not always a term. It was a term used in the 2010s to describe what they called lazy children who were staying at home because they couldn't pay their rent. That's what happened. It sucks, but it's true.
I mean, the thing is, you got to remember, for the silent generation, one thing that's true about generations is they have different general paths. For the silent generations, it was easy for them to pay their rent and get ahead. In other words, and it's easy for them to get a mortgage. It was easy for them to pay off their house in fairly reasonably short order. It was easy for them to get ahead by doing what everybody said they should do, investing in the market, blah, 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 blah. This is not the case for people nowadays because it used to be you began life with almost no expenses. That you could always find some sort of flop house to crash in.
Yep.
And you could put away some money and stuff like that. Not true now. Everybody's got multiple expenses just coming out the gate. They got their phone bill, they got their meow, meow.
Yeah, and it used to be too that if you were in the military that they promised you certain things and you were given them directly. And now it's like you have to go through a service to get them. So it could even be even more difficult for some vets to get what they need. I did a little research on that in my sociology classes. Sad. But anyway, it's fascinating, isn't it? I mean, you were born. I love you. I love that you're a Gen Xer. I learned from you.
I drew a picture of April 1984 yesterday at the restaurant that we were eating at. We ate at a wonderful Mexican restaurant in Sierra Madre.
Yeah, delicious.
Nobody was wearing face masks inside except for the wait staff and stuff. Everybody was just eating. And I'm hopeful that the virus will spread as much as possible because, of course, the only thing we can do is to let it run its course, as I've been saying for a long time.
Yep.
So,
we should just let it run its course.
Yep.
It did die. I mean, like, I remember when I graduated, the recession, started. So that's what happened. That's when the term millennial came around, was a lot of parents were getting frustrated because their children in their 20s weren't finding jobs. So they were living at home and a lot of times rent-free. So it became a term for children who felt entitled to live at home just because there was a recession going on. So it wasn't necessarily meant to be a positive look at the younger generation. It was used to kind of separate.
I mean, adults older people always do that with kids. Those darn kids. John Collins, no, it's a terrible way to stop racism. It's fucking stupid and horrible. We should put those people in prison for committing crimes when they do commit crimes, such as removing an old statue. That's criminal behavior. Those people should be punished for it. If they want the statue removed, they need to go through the political process like everybody else. As far as silencing people's rhetoric, no, it's fucking terrible. We shouldn't be policing people's rhetoric or mental processes. We should be policing their behavior.
Eric is not a boomer. He's 1971. He is a Gen Xer.
Generation X, all y'all. Mm-hmm. That's me.
I'm millennial. I'm one of those indigo rainbow children, as they say. I'm the one who started all this stuff. We're the ones who created Facebook and social media. Thank you. I put out into the world that I wanted my phone in my hand, and Apple gave it to me.
All right, sure, Isaiah. You figure it out. I'll be there. I mean, that's the thing. I saw a great meme where it's the signers of the Constitution, the painting, the famous painting, and one of them was saying, "Of course, none of this counts as there's a virus."
So I really do want to find out how he patented the virus.
I don't know. Like, why would he did patent some virus, apparently. Why would
he losing money?
Well, he may have made the virus. I don't know. But
a lot of people give him as reference for a good example of 5, because he donates a lot of his money, but he is very stingy. But he does donate a lot. but fives are known for being very stingy with their money. They like to count it rather than like they say that Mr. Burns is a 5-wing 6 because he's kind of like this like he doesn't necessarily want the best for everyone. He only wants the best for himself. And it's his money.
Okay, well, even if Bill Gates would make billions off all the vaccines, even if he is financially motivated to start a disease and stuff,
Yeah, fives are really good with money.
wouldn't he have the vaccine ready before he puts out the disease?
I shouldn't say good with money. They're stingy with money because they don't go out. They don't see a purpose. They would rather buy a car after saving like thousands on it, and it'd be like an Audi than like buy money when they had it and get like a medium car.
I mean, look, the thing is, it really doesn't matter what the source of the virus is. The first thing we should do is come to consensus about what the proper response to the virus is. And the proper response is to let it run its course. That's a sensible response, as we do with every other virus. Vulnerable populations should take precautions where they can. To the extent that we get a vaccine in place, then people should be vaccinated to the extent that they're willing to and want to. I'd encourage it. I wouldn't try to force people to get the vaccine.
Encouragement is always good. No, we're not our parents. And Gen X is probably the biggest example of how they're not their parents, in my opinion.
The vaccines or the TRAP, COVID, is being overhyped. I mean, it's being overhyped for sure. But I think this is just sort of I think it's proof of rhetorical slope. And what happens when you get a bunch of wrongness on one half of the scale of the marketplace of ideas, and it produces a steep rhetorical slope downhill into the garbage town, which is what happened in this instance. You got rhetorical momentum gathering, and it prompted wrong narratives. They're the silent generation, James. That's my dad.
Yeah.
That's the silent generation.
Yeah.
If AIDS became airborne, well, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. We can pretend all we want about conditionals, like if this were to happen, if this were to happen. But that's not what we have. We have an actual virus to look at. And what should we do about this actual virus? Now, I agree that we should generalize from this some sort of rules, like unless it has a fatality rate of over at least 5 or 6%, let's let it run its course. Or unless there's something genuinely special about it that really makes it stand out from a normal virus. The best thing to do is to let it run its course.
I love all the generations. Honestly, you guys, we all teach each other everything, and it's important. It's important to know history and to let it run.
I'm so glad censors ruined that down.
Right? That's funny that you mentioned that Hambone today, because I was thinking about my first grade teacher and how she definitely was an ESTJ and could not teach me math for crap. And she used to be so nasty to me because she thought that I was so dumb. Because she didn't know how to like teach an INFJ math, like basic math. Like division, I remember having quite some time learning, because if you don't have patience to teach an intuitive kid a different way of math, like not just the set of rules that you learn from the book, you're going to get a bunch of kids who don't understand. Thanks. I do not associate myself with the Zuckerberg people. I'm way more slacky than him. I'm here to enjoy life, really. Penguin poop.
There's poop in my penguin, and there's penguin in my poop.
And
I'm
there's-
pooping in my penguins and pooping in my poop.
There's a pee-pee in my cat, and a cat, and pee-pee. Pee-pee comes out of me. Not the cat.
Good song.
Thanks.
I like that.
Thank you. That was a good collab. It just goes to show our. Oh, I'm sorry, Pee-Pee. I didn't mean to make you a joke about your name. She ran away as soon as I said that. She
Got my,
knows. Pee-Pee knows English.
my dad's badge from probably the 80s.
Cool.
There.
David Strauss.
I'm at the National Conference on College Teaching and Learning, American College Applied Arts. Did you get a lot of people telling you to show your work, Rachel? I hated when people told me to do that.
Oh yeah. In fifth grade, I had to show my work all the time. In every grade, I had to show my work. In fifth grade, I remember having a teacher where we had to stand in line, and we would go to his desk, and he would go over every single homework question. And he was always very disappointed with my work.
You know, even to this day, when Rachel's done with the laundry, I make her show me her work. So, all right, I don't want to just see this done laundry. I want you to show me how it was that you did it. And then she walks me through it. She goes, okay, well, first I took it and I put it in the thing. And I put it there.
It's so scary. It's so scary. That brings me back such bad memories.
Peter Izuski, you are correct. Stand back, throw the dust into the wind and see what happens. Virus
Yes.
comes and goes.
Yes,
Exactly.
Peter. Yes.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You don't want to. It would bore you, I think.
Actually, we invited STEM to our camp last year. And it's all about if you want to be a DJ and if you really want to work in computer science, but more if you want to work in schools.
If you want to be a DJ, you got to play lots of records.
Yeah, you go to STEM if you want to go to. And it's drones. You learn how to work drones and VR. You learn how to work VR stuff. Put together and take apart computers. It's not the worst program, but it was definitely meant for, I don't know.
Does it feel like the end of the beginning? Maybe it does feel like the end of the beginning. It doesn't feel like the beginning of the end, though. You get terrible performance anxiety. You can never recall stuff when it's supposed to. When it's expected.
I feel you, Zaylen Black. Me too.
In contrast, I do not. I was thinking about something earlier that I wanted to talk about. It was about knowers and action types, and an example. Oh, I remember. It was we can understand understand the difference between knowing, acting, interfacing, and deliberating. Hi, Dad.
You left the driver's side window open.
Oh, did I?
Huh.
I said, oh, did I?
Yes.
Okay, I'll close it. Thank you.
And
So the example is what happened when I pulled, I pulled this thing where I was at the stop sign and it was my turn to go and this other guy went in front of me and I went like, what the hell, like that. And then he pulled over, all tough guy.
Oh, yeah.
Probably heard the story before. He got out of the car. Eventually he slapped me. My glasses went off my face. This lady ran over my glasses and and I was sad. Anyway, the point is, if we look at that situation, we can see how knowers will act, how each of the kinds of dominants will act, okay? So in that situation, you're prompted to do what your native function is first. So what did I do when the person came to me? I took metaphysical action on a metaphysical field, okay? Which is to say, I tried to act with my words to stop him and change his behavior. I said, are you going to use physical violence?
Which is a good question to ask.
And it did stop him briefly. But that's all I had. My extroverted intuition was not as fast as his extroverted sensing because I was trying to act on the physical plane with my extroverted intuition. So, I mean, you could say I was acting on the external metaphysical plane, but I was trying to make it do things like extroverted sensing does. I was trying to control someone's behavior in the way that extroverted sensing would. Now, if I were an extroverted sensing type, there's a couple possible things I could do. I could get out of the car myself and start walking towards him. Or I could pull out a gun and shoot him or something, you know, in theory, or point it at him. I could wait till he got close and then open the door into him really quickly like that. If I was an SE type, that might be a move that I'd pull off, okay? As if I'm an NI type, I'm going to know he's here to do violence and I'm just going to drive away. If I'm an SI type, it's going to be based on what my previous experience is. If I know in the past that people who come up like this never actually hit me, then I'm going to just think, well, it's going to be the same this time. But if I have had this kind of encounter before and somebody's hit me, then I'm going to go drive away. If I'm a deliberation type, I'm likely to still be thinking about it before I have a chance to do anything. So he's going to probably get over there and punch me or hit me or slap me or whatever before I've made my decision. If I'm a now note that it depends for the deliberation types. It really depends on what action function they're with as to how they're going to respond to this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But then if you are a deliberation type, if you're an FE type, you're probably going to say, hey, let's talk about this. Meaning, let's begin interfacing. If you're an FE type, right? If you're a TE type and you're an interface type, then it depends. You probably drive away, but it could be. I'm not sure what it would look like to have a solvency-based approach to that. Except it's gonna, whatever it is, you're gonna have to TE quick, you know, because he's walking towards you, and he's the fastest within his dimension. So an SE Dom taking physical action in the physical realm is going to be at an advantage because everybody else's kind of reaction is going to be less native to that environment. The SE Dom is most advantaged when they have control of time and space. That is to say, it's a physical environment and there's a ticking clock because everybody else has varying degrees of slowness more than that. So I was quick to act. I was quick to take my kind of action, though. I was not quick to SE act. In fact, his SE was so much better than mine that after he stopped and said, for a moment, he started walking again, and I said to him a second time the same thing because I didn't have anything else. My idiot drew a blank, I guess, or I expected the first thing to work. I don't know. And I said to him, are you going to use physical violence? After I said it the second time, the next thing I know, he was walking away from me. That's how fast he had come over, slapped me, and turned around. I don't remember ever seeing him do it. That's how fast it was.
Wow.
I don't know if the slaps would have knocked out that memory from me, but what happened was I said that, he was walking toward me. The next thing I knew, my glasses were on the ground, I had been slapped, and he was walking away.
Wow.
So that's, as an NE Dom, I am outclassed fundamentally because I am on the wrong, I'm on a disadvantaged field. In this environment, I have an advantage because all the action is on the external metaphysical field. It's not on the external physical field.
True.
So that's why I like this environment so much, I guess, right? Now, the thing is to note about the knowers are the ones who are potentially most well-suited in that environment because they will be able to take action as quickly as the action types almost. It's just going to be an action based on what they know, not based on what they can or should do. So in that instance, it's going to be drive away be sensible. Because first of all, to remind everybody, this guy was a big, muscly dude who got out of a little teeny car, and he literally had a USMC wife beater
Oh wow.
on. Okay, so he was like your straight ass central casting badass.
But you know, sometimes I freeze. So sometimes like I've been slapped before, but it was kind of a tactic because I knew that if the chick was going to slap me, she's going to get kicked out, and I could stay and have my fun, and she wouldn't ruin it anymore. But like, in a place like that, like, I don't know. I actually really don't know how I would react.
Well, the thing is, the key thing there is this moment after he gets out of his car. Okay, so he's pulling over, and I don't want to go from the stop sign because I'm like, who are you, tough guy? I'll just wait here and see then if you're going to be all pullover. You're not going to, your pullover isn't going to make me go, because then you're going to know that I was going because you pulled over. You're going to think that, so I'm going to intentionally not go so you don't think you won, right? Playing one of those games. So, so at that point,
Hi.
So at that point, that's when you're gonna know. As soon as that guy got out of the car and walked towards me, obviously I did know he was going to use physical violence, or I wouldn't have said to him, "Are you going to use physical violence?" Now, see, this is an NE-DOM ignoring NI, right? So in this instance, it's pretty clear that the NI response would be to know that this guy's here to use violence and to drive away and be sensible, because it's not like an even match, right? This guy is your central casting textbook badass.
That's scary. That's a really scary. And then for the woman, like how you described, how like the woman just like ran over the glasses.
So okay, after he slaps me and goes away back to his car, I'm looking at the other people at the stop sign, right? My glasses are there in the middle. The stop signs are like this. There's 4 stop signs, right? And my sunglasses are right there, my Ray-Bans. And I look at the people and I'm like, can you believe what just happened to me? This Chinese lady who's waiting at the stop sign, my sunglasses are in front of her car. She looks right at me, and she looks straight ahead and drives directly over my sunglasses. And I'm like, but wait!
Oh, to add insult to injury.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, and then that wasn't until that moment that I realized I should get this guy's license plate number. At that point, it's like 2 ladies driving away. I only get a couple of digits of it, and yeah, that's what happened. This happened quite some time ago, back when I lived in Temple City.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pee-Pee. Too much?
Yeah, how's it going, Levi Samuels? Does the cheese run thick in your veins? Yeah, basically up them plates. I would clarify by just saying, I think you mean this, but just to clarify, because I don't think you actually said this, but it's linking your current experience to your impressions from the past. And yes, that's why they come off as irrational.
What?
No, SI-DOMs, or ISFJs in particular. Like, the irrationality being that our chickens are under constant threats from dogs because this one dog got in through a loose plank in the fence from the neighbor's yard, but they had a new dog. It was a freak circumstance. There was no way to predict it or prevent it, right? The chickens were fine in the backyard, but our fence and the neighbor's yard had a loose plank. They got a new dog. We didn't know. It came through the plank, got one of our chickens, And
that sounds like such a old schooly like something you see on Little Rascals.
So I got back there and shooed the dog away and fixed the plank in the fence and checked the other planks, make sure there were no other loose planks. Problem solved, right? No, from an SI Dom perspective, at least with FE, the world now is a place in which dogs are constantly trying to get our chickens. And that the problem is we have to keep the gates closed, even though that's not how the dog got in. And that dogs will be coming down the driveway from the street to get the chickens. And a bunch of other things like this that are not to be inferred from this one-time event, right? Now, it just so happens to make matters worse, just like a couple of days later after I'm trying to explain to her, why are you so obsessed about closing the gate now? That's not how the dog got in. But she said, but you never know, dogs will walk down here from the street. So a couple of days later, what are there? A couple of dachshunds walk down the driveway from the street out of nowhere, and the gate's closed, but I'm just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Of course, that's the only time it ever happened.
Seriously. It would be, though. That would happen. I was just wondering, so I'm thinking about, like, people that I know. Oh, trouble. Oh, we got a peahen?
So SI isn't about remembering specific details necessarily. It's just the impression that you formed an irrational attachment to. You can use as a reference point to help you remember the details. It's not an irrational attachment. You remember your experience of the event. If the experience of the event was it being extremely emotionally jarred by a dog hurting your chicken, then you go on dog hurt chicken prevention alert because you don't want to repeat that experience. And because you're SI, you're not thinking about the actual likelihood of that. So if an ISFJ has her chicken struck by lightning, then the ISFJ is going to insist on putting lightning rods all around to prevent another lightning strike from striking their chicken. The fact that lightning is very, very unlikely to ever try to strike your chicken herd again, your chicken flock again, it doesn't cut through their strong SI experience of lightning hurt chicken. Don't let that happen again.
That's like a freak accident, too.
Right, but NI says it's a freak accident. We don't need to prevent lightning from striking again. It's not going to. SI says the opposite. SI says, I remember clearly how much it hurt last time we didn't prevent lightning from striking, so we better not let that happen again.
That's a big deal.
Martha Stewart was hit by lightning several times. No, she was not. That's got to be bullshit.
I think you could only be hit by it twice in order to be, like, actually alive.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you get hit by it just so, quote unquote, you'll survive.
Yeah.
And that could happen more than once. But it's very unlikely for you to survive even one lightning strike.
Yeah, it is.
It is possible, but unlikely. It's very, very unlikely you're going to survive multiple lightning strikes.
Lightning often does strike twice. Oh, she was hit with lightning several times on different occasions. 3 different times, apparently. Wow.
Okay, but even so, even after the 3rd time, Broccoli Todd, okay, first of all, my question is she seeking out high points during thunderstorms or what?
Yeah, like, what? Is she a secret, like...
Is she a storm chaser? Or what? Is she a storm chaser?
That's what she worked in. That's what she started. That was her hobby in jail. So I was learning about storms.
Yeah. Okay, if she's a storm chaser or something, then okay, that explains it. She might be like seeking out. I don't want to get struck by lightning. You know? I think it was like a very electrifying experience.
You know it though. You know she was in jail in a cushy library, and all of a sudden she's thinking, you know what? I'm gonna be a storm chaser.
Maybe she was struck by lightning in jail.
Maybe
it burst through the jail's roof and struck her.
It was like big pie out of this bitch.
It's this guy trying to help her escape. Okay, let me put this here. Things That Don't Work by Eric. I'm gonna start a new channel called Things That Don't Work by Eric. It's just full of all the things I do that don't
But
work.
that's a good idea, putting it on there.
There, it
It's
does.
staying there nicely.
It seems to be because this way we can turn it by just turning the whole thing. You know,
True.
it's a little bit easier that way. It's a little bit low right now, though. Let me put it up a little bit more. Okay, what am I getting? Cup of coffee. When am I getting it? Now.
Donald J. Trump. Martha Stewart is a criminal. I ate her food lunch. Just terrible stuff. She's a washed-up hack. I lied and told her the food was tremendous at the time to gain her favor. You lied to her? That's not a surprise. You lie to everyone.
Donald J. Trump, you're a bit of a liar.
Also, the Trump golf course could use a little tending to. It's fucking dry as hell. And if you have the money, Mr. Trump, you should be putting it into things that have your name on it.
Water golf course, Trumpy.
Yeah, if you got the money, if you've got that cash, if you got that business cash from all of your businesses from Vegas and Atlantic City and New York City, you should be able to water your grass for the golfers who actually play on that disgusting course of yours.
You know, water your own grass is a lot like a saying my dad says. You gotta police your area.
Yeah.
Okay?
If you can't police your own area, how are you going to police the United States? It's not working out too well for you. Huh. Donald J. Trump. I should be the one who goes against Trump in a debate. Because I know more about New York.
Wait, hold on. The other time she says, I was holding onto a metal stand. I let go and the lightning came back up through my foot. Well, that's not so bad. I got a poop coming. Ooh.
I almost got hit by lightning. I've had experiences with lightning before. In the mountains. In the mountains, it's high chance you can get hit by lightning.
Well, usually it'll hit something taller than you if there's something taller than you near it.
It was the porch. It hit the porch and it went like right through. So it was me, my cousin, and my aunt. And we were like thinking this is a great idea. Whoa, what a cool like storm going on. And like lightning and our hair just went up and my aunt was like, okay, let's go inside now.
Wow, that's cool. That's neato.
Thanks.
Did you think it was neato at the time?
I didn't know what happened at the time. I did think it was cool though. My cousin was more scared than I was. My cousin Allison.
You know, my mom always liked weather. She liked storms and thunder and lightning.
Really?
Yeah, she taught me to like them as well.
I like it too.
I like the bigger the storm, the better.
What is a good way to see if someone is extroverted sensing? I was trying to type someone today and I wasn't sure if he was or not.
Throw something at them saying, look alive.
On yourself, you too. I was almost. I have like a thing with. I have a thing with lightning. I was almost hit by lightning. My kindergarten, my grammar school was hit by lightning. I was on an airplane that was struck by lightning. So that was scary.
I gotta poop.
Okay, have fun. Please talk amongst yourselves. Oh, it's an extra one. So if you have any questions for me, I can help. When you were young, you and your friend took hangers and tried to get struck by lightning running fox. It's very INFJ. And very Ben Franklin. Okay. So Levi Samuels, I don't know the cognitive functions that well, but extroverted sensors are really good with people's names. They remember them very well, and they dominate conversations a lot of times. They know their area where they live very well. They're like very prideful of their hometown. They get homesick easily. I am an empath. Yup, SE dominating combos. But it's different from ESFP will try to make you laugh. ESTP is going to tell you crazy stories. Like you're going to hear about like almost death experiences and people like getting crazy drunk and doing crazy stuff. And it's all going to be from their perspective. Yeah, SE Doms. Yeah, they do get very involved in telling a story. And they're not going to, like, they're going to want you to listen. They may get involved in emotional affairs because they're FI polar, so they don't realize that sometimes, like, going to a female friend or a male friend for advice is not the best idea. Like, if you're having trouble in your relationship, an SE Dom should probably go to a therapist or, like, to a parent to talk, not to a friend, because they can build, like, if you build an emotional relationship with an ESTP, they're going to bond with you because of that. Weak FI. They do get very involved in their storytelling. They'll tell out details. They'll know everyone's name, most everyone's name, or like who was related to who. They'll probably be involved in some sort of physical activity. Like they might not be football players, but maybe they jump or ESTPs take care of their body a lot. They care about their diet and they care about working out. The only thing that they binge on is food. They love homemade goods. ESTPs. If you want to really win an ESTP's heart, make something baked for them. Make food or make dessert. They love it. Also, so many sneezes for little Eric. Do you know how little Eric is?
Very little.
So little. They do like the ESTPs are performers. You know, they like to, but it's so much more earthy than ESFP. ESFP looks for attention like ha ha ha's. Like I think that Ryan Reynolds might be an ESFP, and he's very like everything he does is for laughs, and it gets so fucking annoying. It's like, chill. Like, some stuff you say isn't funny. Can't you be okay with being a mediocre, like, comedian? ESFPs are mediocre comedians.
I would tend to agree with that.
They're gonna complain. They'll be like, yo, I went to the barber and he told me that he can't get me the haircut, but I go there every time. And he's like, what? Does your mom do your hair? It's like, it'll be like that. They only can make jokes from what they know.
Kind of says, why do you believe any of the shit he's spouting on SA? Eric can't tell people shit. Well, the reason why Eric's the best type is because he has an environment in which he allows you to come in here and say those things and encourages you to say them. And that sort of dissent, when it's justified, has always been incorporated into my thinking. When you're wrong, however, I'm not going to include your wrongness in my thinking. And some people get emotionally attached to their wrongness. And that's what's happening here, Countess.
Well explained, Bay.
Thank you.
Point Strauss.
Thank you.
I'll bring this in next time we go in.
Levi Samuels says, ha ha ha, my brother is an ESFP. I know the feeling. Why don't you hang out on one of those hooks right there? Look, Rachel. See the hook right there?
Here?
No, up. Look outside. Up by the lights.
Yeah, here?
That hook, yeah, right there. Can you reach it?
No.
Do you want me to put it there? I'll put it there.
As long as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also funny, but not all the time. They're like half and half. Like you see Cloud in here. They're mostly provocative.
Why do I think my channel and typology in general attracts so many weirdos? Well, basically because I'm honest, open, and inclusive. I don't want to exclude anybody. We have a bunch of weirdos around here.
Yep.
Right?
I'm weird. I'm definitely weird. I thought I was an alien, and I felt like an alien for most of my life.
Don't forget whatever your dad told you. It's good advice, so thank you for your SI help. I will go close that window.
Oh yeah, that window.
Look, the thing is, what's interesting about this place is I actually feel like one of the less weird people here, which is very strange because I've always been, the weirdo.
And Levi, it is not just a you thing. It's a universal thing. That's really funny. And actually, I believe you are his contrarian type. So that's in socionics, that's also called the extinguisher type. So it would make sense why sometimes you think that his stuff is funny and sometimes not. Like he even may be trying to like provoke you sometimes. Like, hey, I got this really good joke. And you might not think it's funny because it's an extinguisher. So like the enthusiasm that he wants to share with you about this joke, you don't share because you like it, either it flies over your head or you just think it's inappropriate or whatever. And it kind of like takes out their flame, that excitement, if you get what I mean. Contrarian relations are like that. Either you're either contrarian or supervisor to ESFP, I forget. I'm so glad this is resonating, Levi Samuels. I like to study the types a lot because I want to relate to people more. The Intuitar community is too creative at creating new types of crazy. That's true. Who supervises INTJ?
Your mom's face.
Oh, yeah, she does.
I want to talk about this TE thing that just happened, okay? So my dad came in here and he told me that my driver's side window was open, okay? And what I thought was, I guess I should just go close the window because my dad told me to. Not for any reason other than that. I do have my own reason of I don't want somebody to break into the car because that's happened before. But I'm not really worried about it. It's kind of like one of those lightning things, right? Just because somebody one time slept in my car does not mean I need to take extra care to always lock my car because now it's more likely for somebody to sleep in my car.
No.
It's still as unlikely as it ever has been. But regardless, unlikely events like that can occur occasionally, so I should lock the car. However, when I got to the car, I realized both windows were open.
Oh.
So why did my dad say the driver's side window was open? And the reason is because I had backed in, and the driver's side window was next to the grass. My dad knows that the sprinklers come on at night, and they will spray into the car in the driver's side window if it's open on the side that's closest to the grass. He, as an SI tool user, is assuming that I have kept track of all these previous conversations we've had about the sprinklers and the grass and the parking of the car and the sap where it falls from and all the other shit that he periodically goes over with me, you know. Of course, I don't think about that at all because I'm not a TE user in a conscious stack. I just think Effie got to make Dad happy is my interface function. And use TI conclude, well, it's probably because he thinks we should lock the car because of the person, for the person who slept in the car, right? So he's probably that. And not till I get out there that I realize my dad's so TESI, he told me the driver's side window was open because he assumed that I was going to understand that that meant I was vulnerable to getting sprinkled on. Because then I, of course, remembered that I had backed the car in and the driver's side was close to the grass. Of course, there's zero chance I was ever going to figure all that shit out before I saw the two windows open. However, what am I actually good at is meta-analysis about cognitive functions.
Yeah.
So once I saw the second window was open, I concluded all of this shit intuitively. And it's all correct as far as I can tell without having to double check with my dad. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. My intuition is pretty solid on this one.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I thought that was an interesting example to use to explain the difference between TE front stack and TI front stack, I guess you could say. You know?
Yeah. The struggle is real. C.S. Joseph is the devil. I haven't heard much about him lately, actually, which is not a bad thing necessarily. Does anyone here celebrate Pride? It is Pride Month, I think. Actually, I think it's Pride Week is coming up. It might be, they might be celebrating it.
I don't celebrate Pride. You know what I do celebrate?
Oh, taking away all fun stuff.
No, I'm telling you what I do celebrate.
I thought you meant like they're not celebrating anything.
No, I'm saying I don't personally celebrate Pride Week. Is what I'm saying. But I do celebrate Humility Week. Humility Week is coming up next week. It's a week where everyone's humble about their sexual orientation.
Yes. Okay, I'm for that too. I'm for all the holidays, honestly. Because anything that you get a day off from school, I'm for. That's why I like the holidays.
I have no problem with Pride Week. I understand that when a given population has been subject to ontological assault, and that population is a real thing, such as there's a real difference between heterosexual male and homosexual male. And the difference is whether this person is a male or a female. Okay, it's a real difference. If my significant other here that I'm humping is male, then that makes me homosexual.
Right.
If this person I'm humping is female, that makes me heterosexual, at least for this relationship, right? So that's a real difference. Now, it is also true that if you were male, that I'd be subject to, historically, a lot of ontological assault from society. So it makes sense for people to express pride about something they've been told by society so many times to feel ashamed of.
Like,
okay?
if there was a stoner movement, I probably would go to this parade because I've been fighting it for so long that I'd be like, yeah, let's smoke in the street, pass blunts around. Like,
right. No, I'm a bit like that too. I am a bit of a marijuana pride week person. It's like I want to go out there and say, I'm here, I smoke weed, I don't want any more bears.
Yeah! I don't want any more beers.
Bears. But beers.
I don't want, that's what I say. I don't want any more beers. I smoke weed. I'm a weed smoker. I'm not a drinker. I used to compare it to my mom's cup of coffee. I'm like, Mom, you drink a cup of coffee every day. And if you don't have your coffee, you get a headache, right? Yes. Well, when I don't have weed, my mind
You get a
is
sobering.
locked.
You get a sobering.
Yeah.
You need to change your head
Yeah.
occasionally.
Yeah.
Octavia Silva, don't worry. It's just a quote from The Simpsons. When Homer Simpson led the brigade of protesters down to City Hall chanting, "We're here, we're queer, we don't want any more bears."
Yeah, and he solved that for me. I used to say it all the time in my head, "We're here, we're queer," and I couldn't remember the ending, so I could never do the joke. And Eric solved that for me, just like how he landed in April of 1984 in New York, and I was born. I was injected into an egg. No, it's so cute. I would just want to bury my face in your chest. How cute is that?
Outer self. Full disclosure. I did not respond to your email. That was Rachel.
Yeah.
I haven't read your email. Was it good?
It was good.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he
good.
wants to collab with you.
Oh, sure. Did
Yeah,
you say
so-
yeah? Let's
yeah,
go ahead? Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
cool. I just can't handle my own emails. I can talk about these things with you, like in person or something, but emails are so much interface function. That's what I think it is. I don't like the excessive interface functionality of emails. In other words, an email exchange is always purposed for something
Oh.
other than the thing itself. It's always an interface instrumentality.
Rachel, do you think inferior TE is adorable? What would be inferior TE?
ISFP, INFP. It's receptive to instruction. The two types who are most okay with being told what to do are ISFPs and INFPs. Emails.
There is, I do think of them as like I think of INFPs as aw, and I think of ISFPs as
Summer's Giving? The Saturday after summer solstice is today Summer's Giving?
Summer's Giving? Thank you, Winston's mom. Happy Summer's Giving. The United States loves to make up holidays because we have other depressing things that are going on.
I gotta Google Summer's Giving.
Yeah, Summer's Giving.
If this really
Isn't that
is Summer's Giving.
theme? Fresh and clean down there.
When was the summer solstice?
Summer's Giving. Go give me a freaking break
About
now.
Summer's Giving. On summersgiving.com.
Can we make one too?
That's
Can we
a
make
holiday.
Can we make
We-
Boxing Day a
We have
national?
Yaler Day.
Oh, you
Yaler
do?
Day is a holiday, the date of which changes randomly. So it might occur multiple times in a year.
Cool.
Might not occur at all in a year. You never know. Last time it occurred was several years ago, but yeah. Yaler Day is a day when you should be aware that Yaler might be trying to contact you telepathically.
Oh.
The roots
I don't
of
think that'll
southern,
happen
the
to me.
roots of Summer's Giving. Welcome. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I love turkey and the rich side dishes that come with it. About 11 ago, I made a summer Thanksgiving barbecue with my best friends and shared with them the meal I've loved since I was a kid. The party was a celebration of summer and the food I thought I could only eat on Thanksgiving. We drank cranberry martinis well into the night. Summer's Giving was born from a love of great food, great drinks, and great friends. Robert Solomon, founder.
Sounds like an E ESFJ.
It says the countdown is 0. It must mean today is Summer's Giving.
Today is Summer's Giving. Happy
Yes.
Summer's Giving, everyone.
Are we sure this is the Saturday after the solstice?
Yeah, it is. It is the
Today-
21st was the solstice. The 20th was solstice, remember?
Yeah, so what's the date today?
The 27th.
June 27th. It is June 27th. It is Summersgiving.
Summersgiving. I'm gonna get stoned now.
Let's smoke our turkey dinner.
Yeah, that's.
Rachel and I are going to smoke a turkey's dinner's worth of, what's that stuff you get? Tryptophan? That stuff that makes you sleepy after you eat it? Tryptophan? We're going to smoke our turkey's dinner's worth of tryptophan.
You don't need these pesky things on you, my beauty. Sometimes I want to goof around with. It's funny how each cat really does have different personality. I want to goof around with Pee-Pee sometimes, but I know, like sometimes I want to like put my dress over her for a little bit to like freak her out, but I know she won't like it. And then she takes a little while to warm up to you again.
Right,
So
she's a little bit like, hey, what was that?
Yeah, exactly. Where some cats, all they want to do is play.
Well, yeah, that FI, right? It's like a big stone, slow to heat, slow to cool. But
True.
But it takes time to recover from a blow.
Yeah.
FI doms need time to process having their feelings hurt.
You know, I think my cat Smokey, little gray cat with green eyes like Pee-Pee, she was overweight from eating mice. And I think she was an INFP because she would always hide behind couches and stuff. She would rather be alone, and she liked being alone. And at one time, she let me hold her, and they were taking pictures of me with her, and they were like, "Don't move and don't drop her." Of course, what do? I moved and I dropped her, and then after that, like Smokey did not want me to hold her at all anymore. I was like, damn it! Like, Smokey, you were biting. Her nails were like clawing me.
Quoting Zayden Black, I say, "Oh, Eric, I have an FIFE question. I recalled you saying your ex policed your behavior when around others. I do the same thing to FIS. I know how I'd feel if a guest did X and how uncomfortable I'd be." Well, I mean, it depends. It depends what you mean by policed your behavior. It's like you're assuming the person who policed my behavior was policing behavior that actually was obviously needed to be policed, right? The real question is how much are you on the lookout for stuff that might potentially be bad in policing that shit, or how much are you actually reacting to stuff that requires you to react to it? Like, obviously, if your significant other is being abrasively awkward, then you might be sort of compelled to respond to it or deal with it. On the other hand, if you are insisting that your partner, don't forget to greet that person, and don't forget to greet that person, and come over here now, smile, and basically, whatever Eric's doing never matters if it's not, whatever the group's doing takes precedence, So, okay, Eric, stop talking with you. Both you guys, come on over here. We're in the middle of a conversation. Come on over here. Let's take pictures now. Like that kind of policing your behavior, right? And then policing it in the sense like if I look irritated, then I get the eye. Like do not embarrass me. Do not embarrass me.
Do not embarrass me. That's a good impression.
That's the eye.
Look at you. What a sweet tenderloin. Oh, you don't like this?
Oh, yeah, I would like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just looking for it and didn't realize what I was looking for.
You reached. I'll use my pipe.
Okay, that's the worst, Zayden Black. Are you sure you're not an ISFJ? Are you sure? You foresee the problem and nag before you even get there. Yeah, exactly. See, the problem with that is even if the person succeeds in meeting your criterion, they've just gotten back to 0. Because you've admonished them ahead of time that they better attain so when they do, they've achieved 0. They didn't get any points for it. It's not something good. It's something that they've been admonished into doing.
Where did I put my weed?
I don't know. Right there. No, with the rocks. Why don't you get some?
Oh, I got it. I took a bong rip and it was bong coughing. My lungs are getting used to smoking as much as I am. But I'm getting there. I've been using the bong more often and I like it. It's nice. You get a full head of
Steam.
yeah. The only reason why I use pipes is because I've always used, that's my SI. I guess. In New York, you gotta be discreet about it. So bowls are the way to go. Or like a lot of people have the bats. One hitters. Ooh, look at that styling bell ringer. Good bong rip face. That always makes me happy. Oh.
Yes, I would consider doing a video about INTJs up for discussion. It's a good idea.
It is. Winston's mom, you really are, and the only, you're really the only INTJ female that I know. They are very rare.
You might want to lay up the conspiracies around this person. They might question your competency at work. If you're saying stuff like that, you're almost certainly ISFJ, as I've said from the outside, not ISTJ. How much weed do we two burn through in a month? That's a good question, yourself.
Yeah.
Well, what day did I go to the store with Kim?
2 days ago?
2 days
3 days ago?
Let's see. It wasn't yesterday, was it? That was Saturday.
So then the day before.
Was it Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was whenever you knew they were going to have another supply of the...
Oh, it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Suck at time.
It was Wednesday. That's good. That's a good sign. So we got 2 ounces on Wednesday. Okay?
We're doing good.
We're not done with the first ounce. I think the first ounce might last us through, maybe it might last us a week.
I think so. I mean, the way that we're doing it with me and mine and, using it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have it.
I think this first ounce is going to last a week.
Yeah.
I think the second ounce is going to last a week. So this was a really good deal because if we can get 2 weeks for $240, that's only, it's not even $20 a day. That's like $15 a day or something.
Pack of smokes.
Yeah, it's like a pack of smokes. Like another pack of smokes.
That's my advice. This is my advice.
Mm-hmm. And at this rate, your pack of smokes costs less than my pack of smokes, but I also have your pack of smokes too.
Yeah.
So I have double pack of smokes.
True.
I don't think that Effie is necessarily concerned with the emotions, rather the implications of those emotions. I agree, Octavio. That's why I would say that humanity has an ISFJ. Then again, I don't know many people at all in real life. Hey, this is real life, Sky Gear. And you know me and her.
Yeah.
You know us.
All these famous people.
You can always say, well, host Eric's my friend. Hey, Eric, is NI a knowledge function? How does that explain people with good NI knowing what's determinant? When you say SI could know what's determinant through experience, or does that make sense? Well, I mean, Either of them can be correct, but NI knows what's determinate. SI knows what's personally relevant from before. So, well, we just the example we gave before is that SI DOMs will tend to. Okay, well, here's the other classic SI thing, right? This is a perfect example of how what's relevant versus determinant. Okay, so in some sense, SI knows what's relevant, but it doesn't know what's determinant. And the example is the famous potato touch story. Okay, if you've heard it before, bear with me. I'm going to tell it again because it's such a good example. I went to the restaurant one time, and I saw that, when I was sitting at the counter, and I saw that when the waiters and waitresses put butter on the potato, they touched the potatoes with their fingers. They touched the end of the potatoes to push it open, and then they scooped the butter in. I didn't like them touching the potato. I didn't want, and they touched the actual potato part, not potato into, not the tin foil, right, but the actual potato with their fingers. So I didn't like that. So I said, okay, next time I get a meal here, because you only get a potato if you get the meal. If you get a sandwich or something, you just get fries. Anyway, so I did one night. I went there, I ordered a meal. And the whole time I was waiting for my meal, I was eye-hawking, watching this waitress to see if she touched my potato. I knew what was relevant. Every time you get a meal, check to see if they touch your potato. That was relevant to me personally, right? Unfortunately, when they delivered my food, I had a plate with rice pilaf on it because I had ordered rice pilaf. I had failed to use my NI to know what was determinant there. It doesn't matter if my personal experience told me, and what I had learned, when you order a meal, you better watch that potato. That's the rule I had learned in my head, right? So it doesn't matter, though, in that instance, Eric, that rule was no good if you ignore the NI truth that you didn't order a potato with your meal, you ordered rice pilaf.
That's funny.
So that's what I mean by determinant versus relevant. Did the SI know it was relevant? Yes, it knew it was relevant. If you order a meal only, that's the only context in which you can get the potato. But that doesn't mean you necessarily get the potato, and that's not the part that I had remembered, right? I didn't remember that part because I thought that was NI. NI ignoring, like I had right there, is NI ignoring. I ignored the NI truth that I got rice pilaf and it didn't matter about a potato. I prioritized the SI remembering, watch if you get a meal because that's when you get the potato. And I have another example of the same thing in the car. When I was driving to pick up this guy, what was his name? Can't remember his name now. So it's Haley's dad. Haley, Haley.
Oh, Haley from
yeah, her dad.
The uncle or whatever.
Yeah, I forget what his name is now, but I went to pick him up. I had on the dashboard a Post-it note with the name of the location I was going to and the address on it. And when I was in the car, as often happens when I'm in the car, I was driving along thinking about whatever, possibly smoking a joint, who knows, maybe smoking a cigarette or whatever. And I was like, where am I going? This is a common phenomenon that I start driving someplace and for a second there I go like, where am I going? And then I remember, oh yeah, I'm going, yeah. In this case, I didn't remember right away. Where am I going? So I thought back in my head to what I was thinking about going to when I left the house. So I thought back, okay, so I pulled bowls, and I got my meow because I'm going down there to get meow. That's right, now I remember. That's how I remembered it. And then I looked at the dashboard. There's the name of the place and the address, okay? So this shows you conscious SI, but weak SI. I didn't remember the detail of putting the Post-it note there, so it didn't take predominance in how I was going to remember where I was going. Even though I took a TE measure to make it easier for me to remember where I was going, I forgot that I had done that, at least it wasn't active enough in my memory that it changed anything. So I went to my normal strategy for remembering where I'm going, which is where was I going when I left the house? So I'm probably still going there, you know.
And
And
go backwards.
and it did work as it usually does, but in this instance, it was particularly an indication of me ignoring the SE right in front of me, ignoring the NI that I have the address right in front of me, and just going by my familiar pattern of how I do things, how I do it before, as I remember back in MMS.
Yeah, that is true. ENTPs actually, you guys have the things that you're used to doing.
Right. Of course, the thing is, we can get used to something new very fast as well. So right now, I'm very used to listening to this book, and it's like I'm kind of constantly, I'm a little bit in my head about it all the time, you know?
I know.
Like, even when we're not listening to it, I'm kind of thinking about it like,
What's going to happen next?
Then they're going to go over there. I kind of know what happens in the first.
I was going to say you read them.
Right. Well, I mean, but I'm kind of remembering the parts, but I don't remember.
Is that fun?
It was a long time ago that I read them. I remember my 20s.
Oh, wow. Is it fun, like, rereading it? And, like, there must be, like, things that you remember and then don't also.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's like, I remember going into this book, the taking of Egwene by the Seanchan, and how I really didn't like that part of the book. So I guess FI makes me remember certain things better. Parts of the book that I really didn't like reading because it made me feel like mad or sad, then I remember those parts better than the other parts.
Ah. It took a very different turn. It's action.
Yeah, I know. I was relieved when she was freed.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like the Mannies. I don't like those Seanchans.
I don't like them either.
Do not like those Seanchans at all.
Who's part of them?
They're the ones who keep the Aes Sedai and leashes.
Yeah.
And High Lord Turok, Rand kills him by chopping him in half. And
he couldn't believe what happened, and everything's black blood. He sees the blood on his knife, and that's how he realizes he cut him in half.
Has anybody read The Peregrine by J.A. Baker? I'm thinking of picking it up for my next read after I finish The Tartar Steppe because Better Than Food praised it as the best book ever. Huh. Never read it. I feel like I don't mind being mad or sad. Is that FI or just me? I think if you're better relationship with FI, you can understand how the book necessarily has to have some parts that make you mad or sad because that's part of the way of building suspense. Tiny Man 66, you are all over her.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I do.
So
Thanks.
I just order the same thing, and then when I order something different, I feel like this Daredevil trying new things. That's an ISFJ Daredevil. Huh? ISFJ Daredevil. I'm gonna get this spaghetti tonight. So,
it really is.
7 Steps to Eternity. 7 Steps to Eternity. The true story of one man's journey into the afterlife as told by Psychic Sergeant Stephen Turoff. Eric, which type do you think would most appreciate books without much plot and with complex, beautiful language and poetic imagery? Probably somebody with weak NI, maybe like countervalued NI, maybe INFP, INTP.
I was gonna say INFP.
Or ESFP or ESTP, because 4th slot NI and 6th slot both. ESFP will confuse it for deep.
Well,
ESTP probably won't be. But ESFP will confuse it for deep.
Yes, ESFP, but I could also see ENFJ. My ex ENFJ was big into like graphic novels.
Then you have well, you said graphic novels don't have much plot, but have beautiful language and poetic imagery.
It's one of them, one of his favorites.
I mean, I think of complex and beautiful language with poetic imagery as being not pictures at all, but
Oh,
a lot of words. What do you mean by that, Sky Gear? I can show you the world. Lots of kitties, yeah, yeah. Meow, 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 meow. A whole kitty meow. A special pee-pee kitty cat. 'Cause she's so soft and good. I'll pet her, would you like to pet her? Yes, I think you would. You're so jealous out there, 'cause you cannot pet this kitty. Rachel and I get to pet her, but you can only watch a wonderful cat. A most majestic pair of mountains.
oh. Yes, Pee-Pee, look how beautiful you are. Yes, majestic and regal. That's you. You're a queen.
And noble and good and true and just and fine. All of those things and so much more. Today's pee-pee. So much more than your father's pee-pee. Speaking of my father. Hello, Father.
I need help with this text.
Okay. Let's see what we got from the text.
Well, it just doesn't look like the other one. I don't know if I sent it or not. This is the text, right? Yeah. Did I send that?
Kyra, when are you free?
Yeah, you sent it. How do you know?
Well, it says the time.
Okay, well, let me send another one. Let me send one to you.
Okay. Send one to me and check your phone and make sure that it's working.
How do I make this go away?
Push the arrow back at the top. Or that thing. You want contacts?
Did I go to contacts first?
You could.
Well, what else do I do?
Well, you're looking for me, right?
It's
Yeah,
PPC.
right here.
What does PPC?
Just shoot me a text.
Oh, yeah, Saturdays. But really though, Saturdays work for you? Oh, hi, Trouble. It's okay.
All right, well now, so what I have to do now is, if I want to change that, then I hit that and it goes back to text.
You already did that, yeah.
So you're on contacts, okay. Now, if I want to, okay, now I want to delete this, what do I do? Repair? Okay, let me try this now. So go here, delete.
Let's leave conversation.
Hey, Alan Brian, what's up?
Elements.
It'll still show on her end, you know. Then delete message. So text. Push that.
I gotta open this.
Okay, you can.
Let me try it.
Yeah, you can delete all those.
Do I need to do this?
okay. Trouble.
Better say that.
No, you don't need to say that. That's not anything.
Pee-pee in the house? There's Pee-pee. There's my Wonder
You said
Kitty.
that.
No, you're my Wonder Kitty, not Trouble. You.
You said that.
It's okay.
You said that. What's this date say?
What's today?
What's the date say?
June 25th. That was when I think we bought it. That's what I wanted you to look at.
Hey, Tim. Bulwer. What's going on?
You want to say those?
Three days ago,
Yeah.
huh? That's
It's
weird.
the Pee-pee Show. Yes, it is. With our host, Pee-pee the cat, aka Capio. How do you get to be so soft?
Well, did you do any business with your Chase card online? On the 25th?
Probably. I'd have to look.
So if you remember or you think you actually did something that required you to enter these codes, then you're fine. If you didn't do anything on the 25th, then it's probably you did. You've been messing around with stuff online a lot. It's almost certainly you. But if you did something on the 25th with that account, I don't
Oh,
think
yeah, because I went in and I did the count. And I put it
Wow.
in. No, this is legit.
She knows
Okay,
that
so then
Trouble's
you can go
outside.
with it.
She's giving him. Yeah. She sees Trouble.
23rd and then the 25th.
She knows he's out
Yeah,
there.
I went in through.
Okay, fine, yeah. So those are legit. You can go with those.
And I go all
Mm-hmm.
and delete. And then,
Right.
okay. No, I checked Chase.
Yes, in
Okay,
the 7. We're
Okay.
petting Pee-pee.
Okay, so
Mhm.
that's how you use it.
Yeah.
All right, so different than my other.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that there's nothing untoward.
Yes.
Well, I could check Chase again, but it was
No,
okay.
no, it's good. You're good.
Everything else seems to work.
Everything's fine.
And I'm sure Chase will let me know if it was, because we have all of those alerts on.
I know. You can't do anything with anything that good. Well, I really wouldn't worry about it. You're pretty much like the least vulnerable person in history.
Well, yeah, yes, I did do something with Chase.
Okay, cool. So that explains that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Anytime.
It's been the Pee-pee Show.
Oh, has it? Good.
Yes. Right now, the segment for petting Pee-pee.
Okay. Hey,
Look at
Again.
her kitty face.
not the players. I think we should probably point out that without these players, there'd be no game. Skygear, I agree with you. Drinking is plain stupid and useless. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're depressed, you'll end up more depressed. Treat alcohol as a social device or treat it as something to simply avoid.
Good advice right there.
Which function is utilized in the act of typing? Mostly TI and NE and NI. I would say. A little bit of TE.
Where would the brown pipe?
I mean, for me, of course, there's SI involved because I'm trying to remember what it is what kind of questions I've asked in this context before. Sometimes I don't remember them. That's kind of weak SI.
It's okay. It's okay, Truffle.
It's a good point, Octavia Silva. You got there at the same place, same time I did. We arrived at the same location at approximately the same time. Yes. Let's take the hatred out of hate and replace it with dislike or counter favor.
Sorry, PP. I just
Did you see Trouble out there?
messed stand up.
Oh, is TROUBLE out there?
Yeah.
Okay. We have to spell his name or people will know who we're talking.
Oh yeah. She will. She does know
I
English.
think so. Oh, I know.
Oh, she thinks she's gonna go to the side.
Oh.
She's right.
Oh,
She knows.
She could
She
tell you when I
knows.
spelled it.
It's so hard not to love you.
Because I
PP.
said it out first. Said it out loud first.
I did?
I did. I said it out loud.
She knows.
Okay, why don't we close the glass door so that we don't have
Yeah.
any confrontation.
Did you see how she was not happy that I went out there and
Oh,
I
yeah.
fed
She did not.
him?
She's like, hey, we're FI Dom. We're rolling FI Dom.
Yeah.
Counter favor.
No, we should not let them fight. He is a big cat. And you can tell he's been in some scuffles.
And he has his balls.
Yeah, he's a tomcat.
You don't want to mess with
No,
trouble.
he's very muscly. He's big, and
Hey James, I agree with you
Yeah.
there. Now, if we could get both the cats to agree to Queensberry rule
I
boxing,
would love that.
that would be fine.
Queensberry rule boxing would be fine.
If we could put little boxing
Little
gloves
boxing
on their
gloves?
little
Oh,
paws,
Pee would have him.
and they stand up on their hind legs and box.
You can tell he's been in some scuffles. He's got some scars on his nose. So
Email Antax, you do not counter favor my idea to replace the word hate with counter favor. Bye, Levi.
Levi.
Have a pleasant
Samuel's
evening.
had a good day. Hey, Tatum.
Okay, if you don't like counter favor, let me see what else I got for you. How about reverse love?
Look at that booty.
I reverse love you.
Aww.
What about that? If you reverse love somebody instead of using the word hate, like
The reverse.
I reverse love mayonnaise. That's something I reverse love.
I definitely. I am like eggs. I'm not a huge eggs person. I'll eat them.
How about we pronounce it hate? That'll be better.
Ooh. Hate?
I do not hate you. I merely reverse love you.
Reverse cowboy.
I like the idea of hate. Hate is a word that's between dislike and hate.
Hate.
Yeah.
But some people use that as like hottie.
Well,
Hate.
we'll have to reclaim the language.
Okay.
You can eat a jar of Miracle Whip by itself. Tatum, you and I, our mouths are at war with each other in terms of what they like. So my mouth is armed by the people of anti-mayonnaise town. Your mouth is armed by the people of pro-mayonnaise town.
But you know what? I like the mayonnaise that we have in Hawaii. The Hawaiian,
Oh,
tuna.
It is true that there are some things in the world that are made with mayonnaise that are good with mayonnaise.
Yeah.
One of them is Ono Hawaiian barbecue
Yeah.
macaroni salad.
Yes, macaroni salad. Oh, it's so good.
It has both mayonnaise in it and canned tuna fish. What? In macaroni salad? Yes, it does.
It's very good.
And you wouldn't even notice it. You wouldn't say, that's tuna I taste. You'd never think that. But
I want reverse cowboy.
reverse cowboy? I don't know what reverse cowboy
I don't
is.
know what that would be either.
I guess reverse cowboy is a very awkwardly bent penis. Like it would have to be bent kind of backwards.
That would be so fun.
That'd be very painful. It sounds like.
No, it does sound painful.
Yeah, so I don't think I want to try reverse cowboy. Yeah, snap is right. Ouch. Don't even say that, Running Fox. You make
Has it
my
happened?
my
Have
loins hurt.
you ever like?
No, that's a
used
serious.
it?
It can happen to people.
Yes, it can.
But it
can.
has never happened to me, and if it does, it's a serious problem.
You just have a cast.
You have to have a cast.
Yes, you really do.
Ah.
I know.
Okay, let's not talk about it anymore.
How do I know this? It's not a real life thing. It's from a movie.
Okay, you know what else you don't ever want to talk about? A catheter.
Tuesday was Morty. Morty, right? Maury. Tuesday was Maury. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. No.
I don't like your picture, but
Sorry, boo. I'm sorry. No, me neither.
Winston's mom has provided a link to the Hawaiian macaroni salad. Does it have tuna fish in it? Does it have tuna fish in it, Winston's mom? It does, doesn't it? I'll have to look it up, see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Amazonian, huh?
Got it?
Yeah, you did. Okay, I'm going to look at this link to this macaroni salad recipe. I want to see if it has tuna fish in it. The secret is tuna. Let's see. Am I right?
We should make it.
Where are the ingredients? Oh, here. It doesn't have tuna.
That's so weird.
This is not the right flavor. This won't be correct. All right. I'm going to Google tuna fish in macaroni salad. Is there tuna in Ono macaroni salad?
I used to think that it had two C's.
Does the macaroni salad contain tuna? Aloha, our macaroni salad does contain tuna.
That's...
Yes, it has that great flavor. It can only be with tuna. It's not as tuna-y as other Hawaiian barbecue places, but it's in there. You don't want it too tuna-y, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The day I realized that the macaroni salad that I loved for years at Ono Hawaiian Barbecue had tuna in it was the day they put too much tuna in it one day. And I was like,
Oh,
hold on a second. There's tuna in this.
Wow, that's how you discovered it?
Yeah, because one day they put way too much tuna in it, and it was obvious there was tuna in it.
It's probably better that you found out that way.
Prior to that, I had loved the shit for years. I was like, I couldn't get enough of it. It was like, oh my God, that Ono macaroni salad is the best macaroni salad. But I want to, I want to reopen that closed tab.
Oh, I know you do that. You open and close tab.
Yeah, you can. Oh, that wasn't the one I wanted to reopen, though.
There's something about like open tabs and INTPs or something. But I associate with that too.
I think in general, number of tabs is a medium strong, weakish medium strong correlation with intuitives. So in other words, I think intuitives are more likely to have more tabs open. But there are exceptions. There certainly are exceptions.
So I grow out of a lot of bad habits. That's something that I'm learning about myself. And one of my bad habits was having like 11 tabs open. Fucking like so bad. Every time I would open my computer, it would load like take 8 minutes to load because I'd have so many tabs. And then finally I learned like bookmarking, and then finally I learned like letting go. You know, like I don't need these tabs there.
Hey, Dad.
Did you see Trouble?
Yes.
Where was he? Come in?
No, we don't let him in
He
here.
just ran out the front.
Okay, cool. No, when we saw him, we closed up the doors because we don't want conflict between him and Capillo.
So where did he go?
He, like you said, I guess he just went out front.
Yeah, okay. I just talked to Anita at Sun. Jane's basically behavior hasn't changed.
Okay.
She's still fighting staff when for getting dressed, and she likes her baby, but apparently she threw it recently. So,
Well, Dad, that's why they don't give her a real newborn.
well, as long as this COVID thing's on, there's not much any of us can do. So,
Yeah.
just take it as it lies.
Right on.
It's probably a lot. You know, I honestly think it's a lot of them are probably acting out like that because
I don't think my mom's behavior for this state, for her stage of Mia is unusual. I think it's totally within the range of normal behavior for her stage of dementia.
That's what my grandma was doing. My grandma was like that too. My grandma had dementia, and my dad brought her in at the fighty stage, so it's difficult. They know that. They're trained for that.
I'll email the answer. You have no choice. We all have to make moral decisions whether we want to or not. Rachel's always sitting on everything.
Everything. Seriously.
I can move a thing to a place where I think she's not gonna sit on it, then she'll sit right there.
That's true.
It's like her butt's a thing magnet.
Yeah. Mostly it just wants you. Your hands.
Well, it's like whatever I put, wherever I put it down, Rachel will sit on it.
No.
Makes me I try to be very conscious. That's being an SI user, right? It's like I'm kind of paying attention to habits like that and trying to jump ahead and anticipate from previous examples what's going to happen. And SI is useful for things like that because, in fact, a person's habits tend to be habits.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to manage it successfully. When she does something, I think, God damn it, I wasn't on top of that. I don't think, God damn it, Rachel sat on something. I think,
well, at least you laugh about it. That's all that matters, right?
Totally.
I mean, also, where the hell, like, oh, there.
Kitty's got a Junebug. This is one thing I don't mind her playing with.
I don't mind her.
I do mind her playing with birds and lizards, but I do not mind her playing with Junebug.
You can't, the thing is, you can't stop her, though.
I know, but at least if she's playing with Junebug, she's not playing with a bird.
I agree. She's got a big one.
It shows under the video. What does? I know. Never mind. Lol. I should finish Vinland Saga.
But did I bend over?
No, I think that he asked a question that is the answer to which is in the description of the video. That's what I think. Good night, running fox. Run off to bed. Run off to your fox den. Curl up with your kits.
And caboodles.
And your caboodles. Watch out for the foxhounds.
Don't to forget to blow out the candles before we go to bed.
Yeah, I don't think Rachel would sit in a box on the floor, but Phoebe certainly would.
She would.
If you put a nice round thing with like a circle, I'm sure we should do this experiment. We should put like a circle right there with a pillow in the middle and see if she sits on it.
Okay, and maybe I will too. Meditate.
Okay, but don't you?
Oh, not now. Not now. No, she.
Okay, so anytime circular, and then I'll put a pillow. What is a circle around here? I need to find a circle, like a hoop. Let me see if I can find it. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm hoop hunting.
I'm going through all of this. I might as well make it a rip.
There. Now this is perfect, I think. Let me use this pillow so you can kind of scrunch up. Put it. So I want to be able to see the hoop. Though. So
You do want her to see the hoop?
Yes, I need a
If we had
smaller
a carpet, like
I need a smaller little pillow, like it barely fits in that hoop. Or something like maybe a shirt.
shirt and a towel will work.
Let's see if she wants to sit on this thing. Okay.
Okay.
She tries to curl up and sit on it. It's like almost a little too small for her.
Yeah.
So if she does want to curl up and sit on it, then we sort of extra prove that the fact that it's in a circle like this.
Okay. They want it more to be circular than the size for them.
Yeah, they so want the symmetry that they're willing to sacrifice a little bit of comfort.
Okay.
That's the theory.
Well, I was thinking about how she like sits on the top of these couches, and I can't be like completely. I'm like surprised how comfy she is on them.
So I'm going to show the people.
Show the people.
This setup here. It's a fishing net with a shirt tucked in all in there. And we will see if Pee-Pee goes and sits on it. If the theory is correct, the hypothesis here, if she were to go straight over to it and sit right on that, curl up right on that, then it would be consistent with the hypothesis that cats like to sit in the middle of circular things. The other test is to get a big hoop and see if she sits right in the middle of the hoop. That's the other test. Does anybody feel like they'll never outgrow typology? It's permanently ingrained in how you interact with the world? Then I do feel that way for sure. It's like it doesn't even matter if I'm talking about something else. Typology informs everything because it's the most top level meta frame that I can think of. It's the only meta frame that interprets everybody else's frames they generate through the process of them generating it. So it subsumes all other frames.
Cats are weirdos. That's why I love them so much. Dogs are too, but cats are weird.
You sure are pretty, Rachel.
Aww, makes almost Eric.
I feel proud that you're my girlfriend.
Oh, you're proud you're my boyfriend. Thanks, baby. That means a lot.
Nice looking at you next to me. I feel like big pimpin'.
Oh, thank you.
Makes me go like this with my head Stevie Wonder style. I like this. You know, baby, what I really love about you is move my head back and forth. You always make me move my head back and forth. If I were blind, I wouldn't do that. It's making me car sick.
Oh, because that's you using your FI.
No, it's because I have bad inner ears and it makes me car sick to move my head
I
around
know.
like that.
No, I know about that, but I meant you being.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder is an FI urge for sure. Isn't cultural interaction higher than typology? Well, no, because you can explain each individual person's interaction. Well, okay, you could say that culture is a bigger metaphor, but I think culture is a metaphor within a metaphor that you prefer because of certain reasons. The idea that these things exist externally to an individual person is the fundamental falsehood. All right, here we go. Let's find out. She's going to go look over there and see what's going on with Trouble.
She's going to be watching for Trouble first. Should we have put it in my
Oh, let me just move this distracted. I'm going to put this in the recycle. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Now listen, Rachel, if the kitty moved over to the net, move with her, follow her along.
Where is it?
So the net's right over there.
No, but where's the camera?
Sorry by your right foot.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool. Thank you. Because getting a show. Aw, a clouder. She's kind of being a little seductive. I'm excited too.
Well, it doesn't look like she's going to go over there to the net anytime soon, does it? Let me close the blinds. Okay?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Close the blinds. You get ready to see where she goes, okay?
Do you have the girl? You know who my world vibes with me?
Unfortunately, no. That would be that is how you pick up on hoes at the bar.
Oh. But can't you just say it to me anyway?
Girl, you know you're my world.
Thanks, babe.
My best Michael Jackson imitation.
It's good.
One thing I will definitely say to you is, ooh.
I like those emojis.
Law.
Curious, Kara.
I'm gonna finish it up with another law.
She's like, wait.
Don't you want to go sit in the fishing net, kitty? This is not a double-blind test. I'm trying to influence the results. Ay, ay, ay. This is right to confuse face. You're right to be mad at me, Octavia, so you're right. That is quite a crime. That is a big crime, disrupting Capilla's space.
She's right about that. She would know best because she is ISFP herself, so. And Kitty is not. She's not going for it. She's like, actually, her eyes.
She's checking it out.
Yeah, she's checking it out.
She's like, what's that thing? What's that circle over there?
It'll be on her time, though.
Yeah. What do you guys think? To control my behavior by offering me something you think I'm going to sit in the middle of? I don't know. I don't play that way.
No way. Oh, you want to shut your leg out in the middle of the night? No way. I'm right here. I'm going to stay there forever, babe.
Well, you know what's funny is Rachel's FE with the animals is so much more like real than mine. You know? She really feels like this pressure and obligation. She gets mad at the animals, the outside animals, for making her feel guilty and forcing her to take action she doesn't feel like taking. Whereas
Yeah.
if I don't feel like feeding them, I just don't feed them, and then whatever.
You usually end up
I
feeding
do
them,
feed
though, and that's when I feel bad because I'm like, I'm the bad cop and you're the good cop. All the animals know it. They do.
Well,
I don't mind. I don't mind them being a little bit intimidated by me though, because I run shit around here.
Exactly. Did you play Lose My Train of Thought?
Yeah.
You did, didn't you? So I just don't quite know why cats purr. One hypothesis is the sound frequency purring between 25 and 150 hertz can improve bone density of purr. No. Listen, Mrs. Mom. Cats purr for the same exact reason that I say rai. It's the native sound of goodness that's SI stuff or FI stuff. Either one.
Yeah.
I rye at Rachel too with the FI, and I also rye at the bath with the SI. So for me, rye is a
Yeah. It's a good sound. Oh, I love it when I hear it from you. I know you're super relaxed. Oh, she's so not into this. She's not having it.
she does not want to go to that circle.
Not now, anyway. We'll keep it there, though, because I have a feeling she'll be intrigued.
She's a very good kitty friend.
She's such a good kitty friend. Are you kidding me?
She doesn't purr very loudly either. She's a quiet purr.
She is. Her meows are very meows too. They're more like meow than meow.
Oh, my beautiful, beautiful, wonderful kitty friend. Meow, meow, meow.
Meow meow.
So let's take a listen to Narcissus Today.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it all day, actually. I know that I'm not really happy with the mix. I haven't listened to it all day, but I'm ready to listen to it. I'm ready to listen to it with you right now, and I'm ready to share the link with you. You lucky few who get to have the link to this unlisted video and listen to it independently if you want. Siddhartha today.
Sit on the side.
What's impossible to? What's Siddhartha trying? Siddhartha sit down.
Sit on this tree.
In that moment he breathes. He's a mystery. He did not relate.
Sit on this mind.
What will come to Siddhartha? Not when he tries. Now watch what he makes.
Sit on the sea.
Do what company is. Greatest waking dream. Siddhartha was royal. Not his life. Siddhartha the royal.
Had it right.
Siddhartha was royal. At the sight. Siddhartha today. Siddhartha, where are you now? The fantasy is to have Siddhartha right in front of me. What would I say?
Sit on the eye.
It's impossible to watch Siddhartha try. Siddhartha, sit down. Siddhartha, please. Would you just come to your senses? Will you retrieve your functional gaze?
Your body pride.
Irresponsible now that your hands are tied. Siddhartha was royal. At this light. Siddhartha the royal.
Had it right.
Siddhartha was royal. At the sight. Siddhartha today.
Thanks, Tatum.
Sounds pretty good. I'm actually going to listen to it one more time. It's only a minute and a half long. And we're asked Rachel to give me the bomb. Okay, so I'm gonna listen to it one more time. I did put the link for this song here, by the way. I'll put it again if you want to check it out yourself. This is an unlisted video, so you have to have this link to see it. If you go to the channel and just look for this, you won't be able to find it. But anyway, I'm going to play it one more time today. I want to listen to it one more time.
Sit at the side.
What's impossible to, what's it hard to try? Sit down.
Sit at this tree.
In a moment he breathed, he's some mysteries he did not relate.
Sit at this mind.
No one comes to sit hard, the not when he tries, and watch what he makes.
Sit at the sea.
Do what company is, greatest waking dreams, the dark of the royal. Not this light, the dark of the royal. At it right, the dark of the royal. At the sight, sit at the sedan. Sit at the where are you now? The fantasy is to have dinner right in front of me. What would I say?
Sit at the eye.
It's impossible to watch it on the try. Sit darkness down. Sit on the please. Won't you just come to your senses? Will you retrieve your functional gains?
Your body pride.
Irresponsible now that your hands are tied. Sit dark was royal. At this light. Sit dark the royal. At it right. Sit dark was royal. At the sight. Sit dark the
Chris Chapin, if you're noting at the beginning part that her voice sounds too isolated, the reason is because every other voice in the whole thing, except for the first four of Rachel, is layered with more than one voice. I agree. Those first four, it's not a problem with Rachel's vocals. It's a problem that I took out the other things, and I need to re-record vocal for that part to go along with hers. She may have to do another vocal take as well. Have I listened to any of Eminem's most recent songs and albums? Yeah, I listened to a couple of his recent things, not albums, but I listened to a recent song he did. There was a collab with somebody in which, yeah, it was whatever. It was unmemorable, I guess. He hasn't really grown much as an artist.
Hi.
I think that's fair to say.
Can I be friends with you here?
Oh, wonderful kitty. Yes.
Oh, Mason will be around you.
So noble and majestic. She's like, stop.
No.
I know.
Nice.
I often feel the same way. I often am like, I need to pet you. And she's just like, okay, all right. Enough of the pets already.
Yeah, I know.
I want to thank you. Who was it? Whoever that was. Chris Chapman, for confirming what I thought about that vocal part at the beginning. That's my mistake. I had it good. I had it sounding great. And I got overly inny and like, well, what if I take out these ones? Rachel's vocals actually sound really good. Well, they do sound good, but they sound weird when they're isolated and none of the other ones are. Email Anthrax. That song, Godzilla? What song, Godzilla? I don't know that song you're talking about, Godzilla. What do you want? Oh, yeah. Let's see. Let's find out. Oh. I don't think I've heard that song. I haven't heard that one. I'll check it out. Okay, I tend to check out Eminem stuff. I find it interesting enough, worth to check out, you know. So let's see if Kitty tries to squeeze into that circle.
It is kitty-looking kitty footage.
It's pretty much as fast as song bit. Okay, well, this is the thing. I'm just not that into displays of skill like that for their own sake. Even though I might be guilty of it sometimes myself, even I'm not trying to say I can do better. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm looking for something with more pop and less acrobatics, I guess. Why won't Kitty sit in the circle? Why won't you sit there now? Get up, Kitty, and sit in the circle. Sit in the
It's gonna
circle.
happen when we wear a baby.
Okay, she might go sit in the circle after she's done cleaning herself. If she does, then I will show you. Don't worry. I won't leave you unshown if she gets into the circle.
Oh, no way.
You know, we could title this live stream, Will Kitty Get in the Circle?
Seriously.
Will
That's
Kitty
even
sit in
more-
the circle?
It is. That's a big moment. She's the star of the show, really.
Will this kitty cat sit in a circle would be a good live stream.
Yeah.
Oh, meow. Meow.
Love you.
Meow. Oh my God, here we go. Here we go. Back away slowly, Rachel. Okay. She's got one paw in the circle. Okay. She is working her way there slowly. She's stopping to do a little grooming in between.
A little bit of a show off.
So when you say pop, do you mean more NI resonant? In this case, you saying him not growing subjective since you wanted to draw there in a slot? Well, I do mean more NI resonant, but no, that's not subjective because my fifth slot happens to be the objective knowledge function.
I can't.
The fact that it's part of me doesn't, it's like, let's say you got TI in the eighth slot. Slot. Well, then you'd sort of be subconsciously rational in your deliberations. It's a good effect, but only when you have to. If James were the Energizer Bunny, that would be his motto. Still masturbating.
LOL.
He keeps going and going and going.
That's Pee-Pee's motto.
Cats can sense your desires, so if you actually want them to do something, they'll refuse to do it. But why are cats so instinctually contrary? Do they all have ODD, oppositional defiant disorder? Maybe cats all have ODD.
Yeah, they might.
You know, Winston's mom, I've got a funny story about my mom in the military that my dad likes to tell about how when she was in Europe with my dad, technically she was an officer and entitled to officer stuff because she was a teacher, okay? And my dad was technically an enlisted man. And so my mom said, okay, so first of all, my mom got a ticket on the base, and they took my dad's driver's license away because the husband was responsible for his wife's driving. And my mom said, but I'm the officer and he's the enlisted man. And they said, doesn't matter. And then same thing with this room that had a bigger room or bigger bed or something like that. She said, I deserve to get this room because I'm an officer and so I should get it. And they said, no, your husband has to be the officer. And she said, but, and they never gave her the room that she was supposed to get. Additionally, my mom and dad wanted to go into the officers club. There she goes. Look at that. And they couldn't because the husband had to be the officer, not the wife. And, my mom's not really an officer because she's a teacher.
Whoa.
But technically, she is an officer. So if the military were to follow their own rules, she should have been, she was really upset about that, apparently.
I bet she was.
So that's the sort of story that was drilled into my head, too, as a kid, as sort of like 70s era ISFJ feminism, which is pretty feminism-like, but
it is.
I can't get the more comfortable bed. You want to see an ISFJ rage. What do you mean I can't have the more comfortable bed? Oh, she couldn't take him with her. She couldn't take him with her. But he would have been able to take her with him. I think that's right, Winston's mom.
Ah. That's cool. I love your mom. I love your dad. I love your family.
Yeah, they're cool. I love them too. Thank you. Anyway, it's like that's the sort of feminism that I got as a kid was my mom talking angrily about how something wasn't fair that should be fair. It's your TI third slot as manifest by an ISFJ. I want the bigger, more comfortable bed. You can't have it, but we're an officer. I deserve to have those kind of quarters. And she said, no, your husband has to be the officer. And, that's going to push the ISFJ to go fight it all the way to the top.
She does not like Trump either. I just remember her, anything with paper and his name in it, she would stomp her.
It was one of her last bastions of rational thought that was to say, was clearly responsive to what was in front of her in a meaningful way, was how much he hated Trump. That's like the last bit of Jane that survived into, look at this kitty, she's sitting right in it, Rachel. How exciting is that? I want to see her fully lay down. I want to see her fit herself perfectly into it.
Yeah. And she says she liked Elizabeth Warren. She liked Elizabeth Warren. I will say that whenever she was on TV, I like her. I really like her too.
Hating him I don't think hating him was her identity though. I think she just really hated Trump. She really thought he was dangerous and bad.
We had a really good like a magical moment. Me and your mom. You and your dad were out somewhere, and I was kind of like just watching her. And Trump had called for like a presidency thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it rang and rang and rang. I answered, and it's, hi, it's President Trump. And I hung up. Then it rang again. Oh, I tell your mom. I'm like, oh, it was Trump calling. And she shakes her head. Then the phone rings again, and I pick it up, and it's Trump again, and I'm like, and I said, stop calling here, and your mom and I had like a eye moment, like, yeah.
Good job. So you are seeing right now a kitty that is almost sitting in the circle. She just needs to stop licking and settle herself down. I bet she's going to sit right
it's her show. She knows it.
Yeah, she's milking the moment.
She is milking the moment, totally.
Oh, shit. Oh. There she is.
But it's got to, like, be on our own time. We both know this.
I know. I don't need to hurry and go on.
That might be the most we get out of it, too.
Well, wait for her to stop licking, then we'll know.
Yeah.
What she says she's pretty much, she's right there, you know.
And it really didn't take much. Oh, we love our kitty. Oh, I love you so much, Pee Pee. Mommy loves you. Oh, all of her emotions, just like Daddy. I love Daddy with all of my emotions too. It shows so much.
You're making her look. Or she's looking at the TV. Don't look at the TV. Don't worry about that. That's not a show for kitty cats. Go to sleep, and then I'll show you properly sitting in the thing. She's just like, what's this? Some place for me to sit? Oh, just very, very slowly go to sleep. Not even a shirt I wore before, though. It's a clean shirt.
She wants to look outside for Mr. Trouble. That's what she wants.
I agree. I don't understand why alcohol is legal but not weed.
Me too.
Weed is,
Hi, PNP.
oh, my important PNP.
Important PNP.
Oh,
Look at
Kyra.
you. Oh. Yes, it's okay to sleep.
We're all too busy playing tag to want to play hide and seek. Okay. Oh sleep, my kitty so fresh. Just go to sleep right now. Close your whisker-clad nose and your eyes to what is wow. And I say, oh, P and P, just go to sleep right now. I'm singing the cat to sleep. Lullaby kitty, oh kitty, oh kitty, oh lullaby kitty, wow. Go to sleep, little kitty. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow.
What do they call these?
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. That's not the difference. IAG laugh. That's not the point of change. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow. I'm gonna close this door. I think that's what she's looking at. Well, to explain more clearly, meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow.
Like, fuck off.
Well, why do I give up on that mission?
Let me do my thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to sleep. Give it up, you two.
No.
Wanna be
I'm going over there to pet her. It's happening because that's just how I feel right now. PNP, do you want me to let you know how I feel?
You don't buy what?
Can I let you know how I feel? I feel emotions for you. Yes, emotions. Maybe she doesn't like do you like the light on you or no?
Alcohol abuse is
Yeah?
a serious problem that can kill you or ruin your life. Marijuana, so-called abuse, is essentially no different than smoking cigarettes. And for me, it's the treatment for alcoholism that is my preferred and successful and proven treatment for alcoholism. So I have to have something to shake my head with. And
Right.
for me, it's marijuana. If anybody wants to critique me smoking marijuana, it's very really a choice for me between the two. It would be difficult for me to not drink if I didn't have anything to take the edge off, you know? Oh, you love that. You love the ear poke, huh? Kitty does ear poke.
Got some in there, huh? Yeah, I got some wax.
See, this is a kitty who knows what it's like to be loved. It's a kitty who loves.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She sits right down in the middle. That's good. See, they do like to sit in circles. I can hear you sound a bit delusional, somebody said. I didn't say that, I can hear. Oliver Linehan said that. You want to know why alcohol is illegal? Is because just watches people stop the cops because they're drunk or asking what's up to do the code breathalyzer. Alcohol's not illegal.
Yes, baby kitty.
You do not know that a cat will allow its penetration of the skull. No, this cat likes to have her wax gotten. You know, Trump is definitely anti-thought. I agree with you there. You know, just as usual, everyone's deploying weapons along the border. Yeah, well, welcome to the 21st century, yeah. And the thing is, marijuana supposedly is also illegal when driving, but it has no impact on driving. So there's no reason for it to be illegal. It's like I could, in theory, get busted for like a DUI if somebody caught me smoking a joint while I was driving, but I wouldn't actually be under any influence. They'd pull me over and I'd be just like I am right now. And they'd be like, okay, well, but I'm obviously not under the influence of anything. So how are you going to say that I was driving under the influence?
Now I have meow 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 stuck in my head.
Is it making you sleepy?
A little, actually.
It is a lullaby, you know.
Mm-hmm. You know what I always thought was a nice lullaby? The one that Ringo sings on the White Album.
Who's back in the circle?
Fucking great.
She got up when Rachel went over and patted her too much.
Yeah, it was a little too much.
But then when Rachel came back and sat down over here, she went back to sit in the circle again.
Now my lips are itchy because I kissed her.
It can't be helped, Rachel.
I know.
We just have to sacrifice our own allergic cells to love Kitty in full.
Look how relaxed he is.
I am relaxed.
What do second world problems and third world problems
Second world
debates
problems.
about?
Second world problems are like rampant crime. Third world problems are things like absolute poverty.
Aw, that's
There
good,
were three
Sarah.
different worlds in which one might live. World number one is the best. There are three different worlds in which one might live. Number two is surely a test. There are three different worlds in which one may live. Number three is certainly a nest of crap, and no one wants to be in that bump bump.
Yeah, that's a mess. That's a good song for it.
Thanks. That's called The Three Worlds.
One too many, right? What do they call it? There's a crowd.
Three's crowd. That's why the third world has to get so screwed.
That's the third fourth story that I heard of something like that happening
And what's like what happened?
in the threesome situation. It made me think of that.
Oh, give her another circle, Eric, please. Let's see what she thinks about a paradox of circle choices. I can't find a good hoop. What we need is like a hula hoop.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't. I
Or like
can't.
a really round rug.
Round rug.
Yeah.
Do we have any round rugs? I don't think we
No.
have any. We
No,
just have square rugs.
it's a square.
There might be a round rug in the bathroom. Or is there not?
We did have one.
We used to have a round.
Yeah. We should look for one. Not now.
Not right this second, yeah. Do I ever consider speaking in rhyme? I consider it surely all of the time. I'm constantly talking and constantly walking. And every day I am relatively stocky compared to people less stocky than I, at least. I can say that and tell no lie. Yes, talking in rhyme is something I do when I feel inclined. How about you? Will you as well speak rhymily so, and rhyme every line that you encounter just so, and sow yourself coats out of sowing your seeds, and sows that you keep will make piglets and breed? Do tell me then, emailed Anthrax, my friend, do you consider rhyming every time that when you express yourself and have something to say, would you rhyme yourself day after day after day? Or possibly could you instead choose, I think, to talk occasionally in prose and have drinks of water in between so that your words can be moistened by dewdrops left there by birds?
I am a little sleepy actually. But it's actually mostly allergies to the cat. I just kissed her 3 times. My lips are like tingling and my eyes are itchy as F.
Allergies to the cat are much better than not. Allergies to the cat are much better than the allergies to
Shall we?
the cat.
Shall we?
Yes, I did rhyme so and so with each other, but then I made it tricky by adding so S-E-W and Sal S-O-W. So, I actually had 2 so's. So your coat, so your seeds, and then Sal. So it's okay. It was tricky.
He's not fully.
Oh, she likes the circle, even though she doesn't really fit in it.
I know she likes it.
She wants to sit in it anyway. It's like, this must be for me. That's a good question, James. Are cats ever allergic to humans? I don't think so.
My eyes are like out of control right now. I have to remember not to rub them.
You know why, don't you, Rachel?
No.
It's because they've seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
You mean FI?
I
think it's
possibly,
why.
yeah.
I'm allergic to it because of the
FI.
FI.
It makes us John McPicarded. Hey, how are you all?
They're so
G'day.
nice. Hey, Annie.
Hi, Annie. Yes, Kitty Cat is proving
Oh my gosh.
proving this hypothesis. She wants to sit in the circle, even though she doesn't even quite fit into it.
I love her so much.
Well, you know, Anthrax, you are a tough audience. You're right. I did make one mistake in there.
What?
I did my best to embellish off the mistakes and position it more like a jewel than a mistake. But you have honed in on my failure.
What was that?
If you put tape in a square, if you put a square out of tape on the floor, the cat will sit right in the square.
Oh.
Interesting. I wonder why they like to talk. Why they like to sit like that. What's up
Maybe
with
if you're
that?
like, oh, it's designated spot for me. How special.
I think they just like the symmetry. You know,
Maybe.
because it's like I remember Mason at Laverne. We had this circle that held up a fire pit. It was a metal circle. It was like a metal hoop. It had 4 legs, but if you turn it upside down, the hoop was flat on the ground. And I had it upside down in the driveway. I was in the process of moving stuff, and when I came back to get it, Mason was sitting smack dab in the middle of the circle. I was like, huh, that's funny. And I checked it on a few occasions, and he always would. Every time he sat in there at all, if he sat in there at all, he'd always sit right in the middle.
Well, Jason Blood, lucky for you, if you're an ENTP, there's a good chance that you're gonna be taking someone's pet. Like Eric, this is Eric's pet because Dixie Delilah's cat had babies, and like she was adopted by Eric.
Because she was not adopted by anybody else. Nobody else would take that cat
Yeah.
for some reason.
And then Smokey was like someone else's cat.
You know,
Stay with,
I want
they do take on pets.
to point out something. Dixie was the opposite of the pick of the litter, but she wasn't the runt of the litter. In other words, she wasn't the smallest kitten. So there should be another word that's the opposite of the pick of the litter, but not the runt of the litter.
The litter.
The leftover of the litter.
Hmm.
She was a leftover.
Oh, leftover litter. Little kitty?
Yeah,
Or Dixie?
No, she was the leftover
Yeah,
kitten.
she was the leftover.
She was the opposite of the pick of the litter, right?
Yeah.
In other words,
But she's the kid pit that ended up being the kitty pageant winner.
I know everybody came and picked every other kitten and said not her. Said I want that kitten, not her. I want that kitten, not
But
her.
look at her face. She's like, I do not want to be hearing this, Dad.
She's not paying attention right now.
Yes, she is. Her eyes are opening. Trust me, she's listening.
She's half listening. She's half
She
asleep.
is. She is. She's like, I hate this story, Dad. You always tell me. I know it, okay?
Those people were all wrong. They all picked wrong.
They all were wrong.
The slabs bestowed upon me,
Mhm.
like, I remember I think it was 5 kittens total.
Wow.
So,
That's a lot.
4 wrong people had to come in and pick the wrong kitten.
So where did the other kittens go?
2 people, families,
Family?
adopting a cat. Yeah,
Aw.
different people. One of them was Delilah's friend. One of them was some strangers. We put up, I think, a sign saying 3 kittens.
Aw.
And they had kids, though, so
That's nice.
yeah, it was nice. So yeah, everybody got a good home, except Phoebe didn't get picked by anybody, so I just kept her. I when we first left for Laverne, I halfway just wanted to leave the cat there because she was pretty wild, and I just wanted to take her mom. But I took them both, and her mom ran off, and I did see her mom again once again, like 2 weeks later, and then I never saw her again. So wait, what time did we have on Meow, Isaiah? When did you say it was? Monday at Meow?
And your kitty's a bitch. I've definitely encountered bitchy kitties who have scratched me.
2 p.m. my time on Monday is the time when I'm going to type some guy who got a discount from Isaiah because he didn't want to pay. Okay, let's see. Calendar. I need that here.
Well,
I
I
need
think
to add that here.
I guess it's okay because it did take like 2 months to get back.
Yeah, it's fair. He totally deserves it. I didn't. That song was
It's
not
okay.
actually meant as a condemnation at all. Calendar. I don't want.
February. I
I don't
know.
want
I know. When I go into your I'm like, why is it up everywhere?
Yeah, there.
Oh, I love you, Capio.
Yeah, I'm gonna bookmark this.
Of my life. Capio's the kitty of my life, and you're the person of my life.
You are the kitty of my life. Ah. You always make me say meow.
I should really take my medicine now.
You are the kitty of my life. Ethan typing. Ethan McDonald typing. Save. Yeah, save it. Go ahead. Save it. Save it hard.
Bacteria.
There. I saved it hard. Do bells make you hungry or make you feel good? Do bells make you hungry or make you eat wood? If I'm lucky, host Eric and Rachel will initiate and launch my room and when and if they can visit. Sure. You want me to go visit? Watch? Oh, I see. I see. You're talking about Labor Day. Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about Labor Day. I'm talking about, I think we're going to buy the plane tickets first thing in July.
Mm-hmm.
This will be cheap.
Yeah.
And maybe we book the hotel too.
Yeah,
You
sure.
know. Have you ever had any dominant domestic buddies? What are domestic buddies? Domesticated buddies? Oh. Yes, I had an any dom cat who I named Normal because he was so abnormal.
That's so funny.
He was almost certainly an ENTP cat. He could have been an ENFP. It's hard to say whether, but he seemed more logical than feeling oriented. He was clearly, actually, I mean, he was definitely an ENTP. Now that I think about it, he was clearly bipolar. It was obvious the way he'd come to you and demand a lot of love all of a sudden, and then be like, okay, I'm done. And then if you wanted love, he'd just be like, ah,
Really?
yeah. It was like so ENTP, so
Aw.
third slot.
You do let me give you kisses.
Yeah, well, my third slot FE is more advanced than his was. He was a kitten. He climbed all the way up to the top of this tree and then couldn't get down and meowed at us incessantly. And we stood there and we're like, listen, we can't help you. We just can't help you do this. And then we went back to the garage and he showed up like 5 minutes later. He's like, fine, I got myself down. Such an ENTP kid. Such an ENTP.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And he'd jump around and play a lot of physical play, but he was really clumsy. He'd like jump and he'd accidentally bang into something and go like, oh shit, what was that? He'd wrestle with the other cats and he'd look just sort of like just physically just clumsy and incompetent. Unfortunately, he was one of the many pets that died while I was there. The slabs did not shine on that relationship or that place for me. Hello, what are we talking about? I found your channel today. Hi, Tor. I am talking about, in general, things that people bring up in the chat. I'm talking about, what was I just talking about?
Kitties.
We're talking about my kitty. I did the circle test on my kitty. I put a circle here or something relatively soft to sit on, and sure enough, she wouldn't have sat on it.
Kitty brought in a beetle?
No, the beetle came in on its own, attracted to the light, and the kitty was probably playing with it.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's dead or alive.
It's alive. You want me to move it?
Yeah, could you?
This thing actually is dead. That's what it
Got it.
Usually they're alive.
Oh, well, I moved it too then.
What an immediate introduction to the channel. What an introduction to the channel. Immediately, Eric was disrupted mid-sentence by the chat. Well, yes, I was. Hi, Tor. I was disrupted by the chat. That's because, no, I was actually disrupted by a beetle, the presence of a beetle. The thing is, if you're not really familiar with June bugs, they're a little bit creepy. Like, you feel them crawling on you, they grab onto you. And like Rachel might be a little freaked out by them. I was used to playing with them since early childhood. We've always had shit tons of June bugs around here. So they don't bother me at all. I'll pick them up. I could have 5 or 10
That's
of
what
them.
it was, a June bug?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a June bug.
Just a regular beetle?
Well, I just call them June bugs.
No. It is a specific kind of, because like ladybugs are beetles too.
Right, but June bugs are, as far as I'm concerned, June bugs are June bugs. They come around
Yeah.
June, back there now, and some years there's shit tons of them. There are not that many of them this year so far, anyway.
What about cicadas?
We don't have those.
We have cicadas. Cicadas are the things that come around July. And
I know they make that sound.
And they like latch onto trees, and then their crustacean stays behind them like a crab. It's like you see their like crawled like insects like out of the. It's disgusting. I used to be so afraid of it. Ugh.
There was a street dog who used to live in my neighborhood. She became friendly towards me because I started feeding her. And once she came and sat inside my house, I was afraid I would. Let me see. It's nice of you to share your last moments with us. Take a deep breath and enjoy the moment. Eric, does Rachel keep drawers organized? She's responsible for all the. Yeah, she keeps it organized. She does. She puts the clothes away and stuff like that.
I do my best. You
do great.
Thanks.
You're fantastic. You do more than I expected ever.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, the thing is, at the beginning, when you first came, I had some such expectations. I immediately had to abandon them all.
Yeah.
And then I since have, I mean, the only expectations I maintained were those that I consider like implicit to healthy interactions, which, you met those standards, you meet those standards. So then this new habit of Rachel's fairly consistently doing the laundry and stuff is just gravy. I don't expect it, but she does a lot.
Really
She doesn't expect a lot of praise from me for it. It doesn't seem like, although I try to remember to thank her for doing it and stuff. I think we're both pretty comfortable doing things when we feel like it.
Yeah.
I think she's probably happiest that I never ask her to do it.
Yes, it is. That's why I clean when I clean, because you don't ever ask me to, so I end up doing it. That's the thing about me. If it's not going to be, it's true. If it's not brought to me as work, usually I'll have an enjoyment to it because I'll have my headphones on, I'll be in a groove, and I'm doing it when I feel like doing it, not because I'm told to be doing it.
That's a really sad story, Jason, but I wish you hadn't told me that. Yes, I know. This is a lesson about INFJs. If you want them to do what you want them to do, don't ask them to do it.
And trust me, they will do it. They will.
The key thing is, in fact, is don't want them to do it. The thing is, I don't just not only ask her to do it, I don't expect her to do it.
No,
and I don't want. It's not like, but I'm happy when she does.
Yeah. It's totally free. It's totally on my own will, and I fucking love that. I love that because I honestly love our space. So, and I love you, and I don't mind.
Octavia Silva says, "Does Rachel keep hidden drawers organized?" I don't know what she means. Do you know what that means?
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so like in New York, I have a shelf. I have a shelf here. Do you want to see my shelf? Visible the company. No, I don't actually.
Drawers. We don't have drawers.
No, we don't have any drawers. But at home.
We got a lot of shelves.
At home, oh no. See, I go through phases. My closet in New York is a fucking disaster. It's mostly just clothes to get on the floor. There's a bunch of clothes to be given away and a lot of old clothes that I don't wear.
No, there are no L's on our shelves. Yeah, well, I don't blame her. Don't blame her, Jason Blood. You're not nice to a pregnant lady. That's bad. That's bad karma.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hedor.
What's the matter with Hedor? What happened?
I had like 12 before, but unfortunately he died.
Did they all get hit by a meteor all at once?
That's like,
That would really be a tragedy. You have 12 pets. They're all huddled together as you're counting them for their morning count. And they get hit by a meteor.
yeah.
All my pets are killed by meteors. Pets are killed indeed.
Did I answer your question, Octavia Silva? Did I help you there? My draw next to my bed was fairly neat, because it was like my weed draw. So I have like all the stuff that I would keep for my weed in there, and I like to keep my weed stuff. What?
I love how you say that word.
Draw?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Thanks. I totally dropped the ER,
Yeah,
right?
you do. I totally do. Yeah.
New York. That's so yeah. But my closet was a fucking mess. My room was a mess. I really did clean up best I could. When I came to California. I have some things that I might still get, but like most of the stuff I left for donation. Like I have a lot of great stuff for like people to wear, so I grew out of it. So like literally grew out of a lot of my clothes. So I like to donate my stuff.
I think Rachel will always be a New Yorker at her core, but I think she likes California quite a bit.
I love California. I've been dreaming of California since I was a kid. I used to have daydreams of being here. And
because we're slab mandated.
yeah, I think so. I'm a New Yorker at heart, but like it was really tough for me living there, you know. As an INFJ, it's very busy. It's a very busy and expensive place to live. I mean, when I got out of school, out of college, I mean, yeah, it definitely was recession, and I was living at home. But the people that I knew that were moving out into their places, they were couples, and they had 2 incomes, and they were making rent. Like, it's extremely difficult to live on your own in your 20s in New York. It's almost impossible. Like you have to have a corporate job and be making like 6 figures.
Otherwise, you get stuck in an apartment like the people on Friends had.
That would be a dream.
That's right. Was that just like the most bullshit thing about Friends? Was that
Yeah.
this girl working at a coffee shop and guy with a random job can afford these massive apartments in New York?
Well, they said in the beginning that was the grandma's apartment. They left.
Oh, it was rent
It was
controlled?
It was a rent controlled, but it was the grandma's old apartment.
Oh, so I guess it does make sense then.
Yeah.
I forgot about rent control.
Yeah. Yep. That's the only way you can. But you know what people do complain about? Not Friends. So they do reference that. They're like, how the hell can like they all like live there and have basically be someone who works at a coffee place. But they do explain like the first season that it was their grandma, or even I think in the first episode they're like, yeah, you know, I live in my grandma's apartment now.
Rent control.
Yeah, rent control.
Kitty in this circle.
But more people complain about Sex and the City and how they portrayed like
Everybody had any fancy apartments they couldn't
yeah,
afford.
like they couldn't afford. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna smoke a bong rip, yes I am.
Cannot you?
And I'll smoke a bong rip, then I'll put it in your hand, yes I will. We'll be smoking all these bong rips, we'll be smoking all these bong rips, we'll be smoking all these bong rips till we're high, yes we will. We'll be picking up our torch now, yes we will. We'll be picking up our torch now, yes we will. Yes, we'll be transubstantiating all the bong rips we'll be taking to the people in the live chat, yes we will. Yes we will.
Yeah, company. Like when I knew Delilah and Danny were coming over, I'm like, oh, I want to vacuum. Like I wanted to vacuum specifically because there had been like some ash and stuff before they came. And so then there may be something to that. And my mom who's in ESTJ, she's like organized, like she cleans the house all the time.
The thing is, I saw that in action. I saw Rachel cleaning up and stuff in anticipation of people coming over, and it took me a few minutes, and I realized, oh, it's because people are coming over. The thing is, I probably would have thought to clean up about 5 minutes before they showed up. I thought, oh, shit, I should pick up a little bit. Maybe half an hour before. But Rachel was thinking about it when she got up in the morning. When I got up in the morning, I was thinking, later today, there's this thing I have to deal with. That's not till later. So it wouldn't have occurred to me to clean until later.
I was excited, though. That's me.
I guess it is a great opportunity for Effie Tool to shine, you know. Oh yeah, this is good.
Well, you know, it's nice. It's nice hanging out with your family. So, and she said that she wanted to see where your place was last time. So I was like, hey, I'll bring you a mail tour.
Yeah. Animals aren't fake. That's true. I mean, they can be actually. I mean, I've seen the dog. Like the dog, when you come home and the dog does something it knows it shouldn't do, before you find out what it is, and it's already like looking at you like.
Oh, you already know.
It's being all nonchalant.
Yeah.
Looking. That's a dog trying to fake you a little bit.
No, I'm chilling. I don't want that on mine.
Ooh, it's juicy. You want to try it?
Yeah.
You gotta have some tough ass shoulders for the
I don't
juicer.
know. Maybe not.
But I mean, if you hold it with 2 hands instead of 1 hand, okay.
I think you overestimate my. Oh, that's not so bad.
All right, then you put it on your shoulder. You want me to put it on your shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it on slowly, a little bit by a time. Okay.
Okay. Wow. It really gets it. Ow.
Is it enough?
Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
So if you let it go completely, then.
I got my blood flowing.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah. He's got tough inside. This one's toughy. He is tough. Your insides are like iron.
Just this one part, you know, the loaf.
Yeah. Well, like your lungs.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But as far as squeezing things, there's not any other part of my body I can squeeze with this. This is too squeezy for any other part. I can't squeeze my left shoulder with this. Ow. And when it catches my skin, it hurts for a second like that. But, that's some juice right there. I mean, it is good for the back of my neck, too. But I have to prevent it from getting too hard.
I have to. My guns.
Ah. Hmm.
Squeeze your feet through your shoes.
I was like pounding it with it.
See, that's tough. That's like tough boy. Like,
Now,
I can't. I feel like I'm a wimp compared to that.
There are certain very specific spots, not other spots. So I know what to hit and what not to hit. It's this spot in particular that's the problem, right there. I've got it pretty good with this, but I could use an even stronger one of these, frankly.
Finally.
Explaining typology to a skeptical INFJ is funny. My dad's one such example. Until now, I've tried to avoid using cardinal cookie jargon. Maybe I should go ahead and start. Yeah, start using the jargon, and he'll realize it as a lexicographical tool before he understands it as a metaframe.
It helped me. In fact, I would really like to have the list of the slots printed out.
Okay. Well, do that. I remember. I said we were going to do that. This is a good spot. I got on exactly the right spot right now.
I can tell by the way you're talking.
It gets me right here. When I feel it here as well as down there, then I know I really got the spot. Probably quite a few, Ethan McDonald. That's good stuff. There's one more stage though. Cause see, there's this corner here that I can't really get with the squeezer.
Trap is what
I can get this spot with the squeezer, but I can't get this spot right here with the squeezer. So that's what this is for.
So this is that demonstrative TE or SE?
I think it's SI.
Oh, SI.
Yeah. This side is so much less tense. The left side, I have to be quite gentle with it. You know, I can only hit it this hard. Otherwise it hurts. Even then, without hitting that hard, it's still like, ouch, that's pretty tough. You know, they're pretty hard hitting. Maybe this one spot right here is a little bit harder, but nothing like this side, which I can just go like this. You know, it's like this side is so.
Wow, it's so different.
Yeah, it's so like in need of getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hit my bones. I need to buy a flogger. What's a flogger? Is it like a fogger? The flogger is it a combination fogger and massage machine? Yeah, I don't hit
That sounds very FI.
No, I'm very careful with it.
Set the mood.
I think leather is the most disgusting texture visually. Huh. I never even thought about that.
Really? I
like it.
Like it too. I least go towards lace. I'm not a huge lace fan. Because why? Because it itches.
Lace itches? What if it's made out of silk?
Then not so bad, but it still itches.
Silk and lace doilies. You need to dress me entirely out of lace silken doilies.
You would love me in that, wouldn't you? Okay.
You look great. You look like a grandma gone crazy.
Okay.
Only grandmas like doilies, but if you were to wear a dress entirely out of doilies,
That
that's fashion forward.
is fashion forward. And economically sound.
Yeah, you have to use not as much fabric.
Yeah.
If we get all silk doilies, that might be expensive.
Ugh. You know what I really don't like? I don't like polka dots. I am not a polka dot fan.
You're not a daughter.
Nope,
They call it
not
daughter.
a daughter. I am not a polka dot fan. I do not like polka dots. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it.
You're not a polka dot Peggy.
Yeah, I would take lace over polka dots.
You're a leggy Peggy, but not a polka dot Peggy.
Yeah.
Right. You're not a striped Strafera either. Strafera is a female smith. This is a good hammer for getting
Loaves.
loaves. It's called a magnetic tack hammer, MTHS.
That's so cool.
This is a very good hammer for hammering yourself. If your loaf is hard and your loaf needs hammering, then hammer it with this well. Oh, email Anthrax. Don't be such a picky persimmon, okay? Nobody likes a picky persimmon. If you're the CI queen, tell me the name of your mother, sister's, cousin's, daughter's, father's, grandfather's, son's daughter in relation to you. Why, it's my pig. That's my pig chats a bunch. Yeah, there's a room. I'll put the link. A couple of rooms you could go to if you want. Whereby.com/TWFP1 and whereby.com/TWFP2. Two different links, two different places. Neither of them click because I don't know why. You are welcome to go there and see if there are people there. There might be. You got to copy, you got to paste, you got to go. CP and G, they call it. Copy, paste, and go.
I still think that Tara Reid's nip slip is epic.
That's because they don't have the HTTPS? Okay. Fine, I'll put the HTTP. Fine, I'll put it. I'll put it with my finger. I'll put it with my man. I'll put it with my finger. I'll put it with my pia. I'll put it with my finger. I'll put it with my nyan. I'll put it with my finger. I'll put it with my pia. There we go. Let's try number 2. Number 2 is open. It doesn't have any HTTPS. It just doesn't have it in the link. Oh, there it is. Copy. Pow. Paste. And this thing. Pow. 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 And pow. Yes, the wonders of world times have arrived. There are people there, including me at the moment. And I gotta end the stream. This is a 3-hour and 30-minute long stream.
Yes, baby, yes.
How did that happen?
Good times.
I thought it was like an hour and a half, maybe.
Well, we did have to wait for Kitty to
Sit in the
close
circle.
her.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
This is the show we live on Pee-Pee's time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We
Love
love
you,
you.
sweet dreams.
See you. Sleep well. Don't let the bed bug smell.
You want my pee-pee.